Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, here with my special co-host, Big Cuz Marcus Dent. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. What's up, Big Cuz? You with me?
What's happening, man? What's happening? Good to
Man,
be
we've
back,
been
bro.
missing you around here, bro. We've been missing
Yeah.
you around here. Shit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me? You're a little fuzzy though.
Hold on, make sure I got everything up connected. Yeah, I should be in there good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think we may be having a delay with you.
Yeah, you was having a delay a few seconds ago. Now you back, so I don't know what's
Okay.
going on.
All right, all right. What's up
Yeah.
there, Ganja Grower? Sooners Life. Sooners for Life. What's up, gentlemen? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in, welcome in. Make sure you wipe them feet as you come in and talk a little ball with us this morning. We also are gonna have in a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. He's got to get back to his place, he said, but we're going to have another special guest with us this morning. It will be Reggie Powers the second, father of Reggie Powers the third, defensive stalwart for the Oklahoma Sooners. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into some defensive talk, man. I think uh, obviously it's a big question, Marcus, on what are you going to do with how far can this Oklahoma team go? Is it, I think a lot of it is going to depend. Of course, we know it's going to depend a lot on the offense. You got to have a better offense than you had last year. But I think how far you potentially could get, how deep, if you could get into the playoff and even maybe make a run at a national championship, how good is that defense going to be? And I think that that's going to determine whether or not you can do that. What do you think?
Definitely. You're missing Danny Stutzman. You're missing your safety you had last year, man. Those two guys, him and Billy were just. I
Yeah.
mean, it was hard. They were captains, but I think you replaced them with talent, with
Yes, you
some
did.
talent, with equally talent. Now you're gonna lose a little bit when it comes to your leadership, but I think you got some guys that's stepping in that role. I think this team is more like a just an army of bandits, pretty much. If I would say, like I said, Stutzman was the captain last year along with Billy, but I think this team right here is like, I think they're like this. And I think from the leadership role from last year and just what they got on the field coming back, man, I don't think there's no question about what they can do. And we saw what they did to Bama. We saw we saw them hold. We saw them give us the ball inside the 20 on Tennessee. Um, nothing they could do against South Carolina. The offense gave them 3 touchdowns, but we saw that defense do some really good things during the year. And these guys are a year older, a year stronger. So I mean, I think they could be.
I think we're losing you a little bit there but I'll take from there. We lost you there for at the end. You said they're a little older, a little bit stronger, and you think
Yeah, definitely.
they could be what?
I think they could be even better than they were last year with just being bigger and stronger and older and wiser on the football field.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ryman Lemon says the defense will go at the level of play of the linebackers. Kip is good, but he needs to train up those around him to keep it real. Yeah, listen, I think, you know, a lot of expectations on Kobe McKenzie this year.
Mm,
He hasn't had to be the major guy at the linebacker position, but now he does have to be the major guy at the linebacker position. You also
yeah.
got guys like, obviously, to me, Samuel Omosigo. I know there's a little. He's moving a little bit between like your cheetah position and your and playing linebacker as well. I think that he's legit. He's a legit star in the making as well at the linebacker position. And then you got a guy like Kendall Daniels that comes over from Oklahoma State, big body guy. Really only played linebacker 1 year at the end of being at Oklahoma State. Struggled a little bit with it, I think, understanding the flow of it. But with, his ability to kind of move there and kind of move a little bit to the back, maybe play even a little on the defensive end side, I could see him being one of those linebacker type defensive ends, the dude that doesn't necessarily stick his hand in the ground, but he's rushing the passer kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
Because I think he's shown a knack to do that. But I love the linebacker core. I think the big thing for me, and I'll say hi to some more of these folks that are just getting in here. T Boomer, what's up, my guy? Good to see my gun sweetness. True Okie. Yeah, man. Coach Riggs, what's up, my guy? What's up? What's up? Yeah, listen, and I also think that, that's something that you have to look at too, is the linebacker play is going to be important. But having lost Billy on the back end, you still got a guy like Peyton Bowen, who apparently he's coming in feeling a lot better with his toe. And we'll get more into the safety stuff once we get Reggie in here to talk with us a little bit here in a few minutes. Of course, Big Bogue is he'd be with us, I'm sure, except I think he's at camp with Marcus there at OU camp right now. So
I think I think that was yesterday. He's in one of his soldiers getting married, and he's in the wedding or something like that. He was saying.
Oh, okay, that was just
Yeah.
I didn't know it was just a 1-day deal. I thought it was 2. So
Yeah. So,
yeah. The D-line will be good enough to take up some of the pressure off the linebacker group. Also, I think it takes off some of the pressure. What's up there, David Moyer? Sooners for life. Yeah. Listen, also, I think that D-line, and we can get into some of that chat, but I think the D-line is also going to make up for a lot of what may be concern for you in the secondary, if you have any, which really, if you have any, is probably going to be at the corner position. But I think the biggest key to this defense and really kind of being that next level good, right? Because you've got some teams that are on this schedule that you've got unbelievable receiving cores on these teams. LSU, Alabama being at the top of my mind right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? LSU and Bama being at the top of my mind. Look, I don't think that you can overstate how important it is that Gentry Williams is back and fully healthy, ready to come into this season. Now, obviously, you're knocking wood with Gentry because he hasn't really hasn't been available for the past 2 seasons, really, for the better part of but most of all last year. But certainly and I think a lot of that had to do with the injury that he had the year before being, we won't have to talk too much about it, but misdiagnosed and not from what I'm understanding, he's feeling a lot better. They fixed whatever the problem was finally, and he's ready to go. He said he hasn't felt better since he got to Oklahoma. Love hearing that. Hopefully they keep some bubble wrap on him, and he is ready to go for the season, because I think when you got a guy like Eli Bowen, there's some other guys in the room. I think the young guys are really going to have to – you're probably going to need some more stuff out of them, but you've got good ones. Newcomb, obviously Hawkins, you've got Malik Hawkins coming into that room as well. But Eli Bowen being a freshman All-American last year at the other side, I think if you get something out of Gentry, because he's big body for a corner, he can go up against your outside guys with speed and with power, and he's got size to be able to get up and get some of those 50-50 balls instead. Listen, the fact that you have guys that can get to the quarterback, they're going to make it quick. You're not going to have a ton of time to stand back there and throw against this defensive line and in the edge unit. But I love the idea of what Gentry could bring to the table. If he's out there and clicking on all cylinders, I don't know that you're not the best defense in the country, period.
I think you got one of the best defensive lines in the country, bar none, how it stands right now.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. I think we've talked about that. And, Cole Kublik, I know you weren't on last week when we talked about this. Kublik had him ranked number 1 in the SEC, and he said it wasn't close. He said there was 40 yards separating them, and if you were running a race from the goal line to the other goal line, they were 40 yards ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I'm with that.
If you look at it, I agree with that, and we've been saying that on this show for a long time. You already know. This is nothing new for us.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing. That D line helps that linebacker play 100%. So with Danny being gone and the D line being so much, aggressive because BV is gonna be aggressive this year. I
Yeah,
think you're gonna see more of aggressive defense this year than you ever have from him since he's been in Oklahoma because he has the experience and he has the depth and he has the talent. So you're gonna see some pressure coming from that defensive line. You're gonna see some different things coming from him, and it's gonna help that linebacker play.
I agree. I agree. And I think it helps your corners too. You don't have to, I think you can afford to be up on them and making sure that they don't get a quick route out. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Um, that's kind of where I'm at on it too. To me, I love the idea of having Gentry back in it. But the D line, everybody wants to talk about the D line. Let's talk about it. I mean, listen, when you got to start off in the middle. You got to start off in the middle. That's where you've got obviously Dominic Williams, Jaden Jackson, David Stone, who we're expecting a lot from Stoney this year.
Oh
That
yeah.
he was starting to come along at the end of the year. Everything that you've heard of since after the season and through spring camp is that he was the most dominant out there, during the spring as far as on that D line. It stands to reason that he would be too, with Jaden Jackson being out, had a minor injury.
You got one guy you forgetting.
I'm not forgetting about him. We're gonna talk about G Baby. Is that who we're talking about?
No, not talking about G baby. I'm telling you, the guy that looks the best to me,
Come on.
just physical. That doggone Marcus Strong, man.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say Marcus Strong. I'm glad.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, this dude has been patient.
Yeah,
Man, they got to get this cat on the field, man. Just think about when he did get to play last year. I
yeah.
think he still ended up with 2 sacks or something like that. I mean, dude,
Bro,
they deep,
he's a
man.
dog. He's a dog, and
Yeah,
they
man.
say he's put on
They
so
gotta
much.
get him on the field, man.
Here's the thing. This is where you're starting to wonder, like, whoa, how are you gonna get all these guys on the field? And this is a great problem to have, right?
Oh yeah.
But because in the interior of your D line, and that's where everybody's talking about get there, get there. You've got to be great in the trenches. Well, this interior D line, you're probably looking at 6, 7 deep between the two positions.
You know what? That helps you when you play Bama.
Mhm.
That helps you when you play Ole Miss. That helps you when you play the juggernauts in the SEC.
Yep.
Because guess what? Them big boys up front, they get tired, bro.
Yeah.
They get tired. If they don't have nobody to replace them and you sending fresh bodies in, man, by the end of that second quarter, they get in halftime, they can be like, whew, damn. Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be out of breath and they're gonna be, they could wear you down over a period of time, you know. So I think, like I said, that's a really good problem to have, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think it hurts anybody. I don't think it hurts anybody draft stock by being in that rotation because NFL guys know what type of players that BV put on the field. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that doesn't you go out there and do your thing while you're out there, it's better for you than one person being out there a whole game and just tired and don't get those fresh reps. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
getting those fresh reps, man, that means a whole lot. I'll come out there and I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at this offensive lineman. He got that right hand on that hip. Oh man, you know what I'm finna do to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, like I say, I'm really, really, really intrigued about the defensive line, man. I just can't wait to see them punish Michigan that second game because Michigan offensive line
Ooh.
is not that good. They were looking for players. They were looking for players last year. I went back and watched a little film of Michigan, man, just about 3 days ago. Just up late at night, couldn't sleep. Put
Mhm.
it, went to the YouTube, watched some stuff. Yeah, they got problems. And you bringing in a freshman quarterback. BV got something for him. BV got something for him. That might be the deal where, hold on, maybe we would have went out and got us a veteran guy and let him, kind of learn the ropes a little bit. That's
Well, they
gonna be a
did do
game.
that. They did, but he was from Fresno State. He wasn't great at Fresno State last year. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't know that that was. Look,
Yeah.
here's the thing about and I guess part of it is the fact that they just don't have at Michigan, they don't throw the ball a whole lot. That's not the way they like to do
No.
things. So it's
And
gonna be hard to get a guy that is a ultra pass guy,
mhm.
that's in the portal or whatever. I don't see you attracting a bunch of high-end dudes that are
They
trying
like
to,
to they like to run the football, man.
they like to run the football. And that's,
Always have liked to run the
well,
football.
and that's the thing that you got to be concerned with anyways. If you're Oklahoma and you're looking at this as like, okay, well, you need to worry about that anyway, because that's what they do well is
Mhm,
offense, is
mhm.
their offensive line and push,
Yeah.
So that's where I think that's what, to me, honestly, I think that defensive line is going to shine in this instance, because one thing we know is you didn't have a bunch of dudes running the ball. Even the best offenses that we went up against didn't run the ball great on Oklahoma last year.
Now,
We had,
Tennessee ended up getting some yards at the end,
yeah, but they
but
were still
we
under 200 total yards.
yeah, mhm, yeah, they did a good job against them, that's for sure, you
And I
know.
mean, if you look, you're not going to hold a really good rushing. Nobody's going to hold a really good rushing offense to nothing. Especially when they're getting extra possessions like they were the Tennessee game, especially. We know they got a bunch of extra possessions because you had
Mhm.
a bunch of 3-and-outs all throughout the first half. It was either 3-and-out or it was turning over on the first damn time that you got we're talking about JA's turnovers. You know,
Yeah,
some of these things, that's where it's at. And yeah, Neilio says Michigan wants to dominate the point where you're down, bulldozing your D line in the fourth quarter. Absolutely.
but
What
but
about it?
but here's the thing about that, Nilio. When you got 7 guys rotating, you ain't wearing us down.
And that's the beauty
I
of it.
don't care
I
what
mean, let's
team
talk,
on
let's
the
talk about
country.
that a little bit.
What team in the country? If you got 7 man, Alabama, just let's take Alabama.
Yeah.
Let's go back 3 years ago at Alabama. They rotated, man, every other series, bro.
Okay.
Brian Young that was from here in Mississippi,
Yeah.
those guys rotated, man. You didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
them on the field every
It was
series.
always like that. I can remember going back to like Mount Cody, where that dude
Yeah.
wasn't going to be on the field for an entire series.
No, no. So that's what you need. You
Mhm.
gotta have and guess what? All those guys got drafted.
You got to think about this. Look, talking about just those two positions with you got your nose and of course your three tech. With Dominic Williams and Jaden Jackson being the starters, David Stone right there, mixing in a lot. You expect him to get a lot more reps this year. Grayson Halton, who PFF is in love with Grayson Halton,
Yeah, they are.
and they should
Yeah.
be. They should
Well,
be.
you look at his PFF numbers, it's crazy.
They're off the
I
chart.
would I never would have thought. Look, I know he's quick and he's fast and he's undersized,
He's a
but he's
little undersized,
strong.
but that's
But
what
he's
gets you there.
strong. But he's strong and got long arms.
Yeah, man.
What he's about 285.
He's a monster, dude. And well, no, he hit that 300 mark. They wanted him to be 300. He's 300 now.
Oh man, well see
That's
there it is. If and the thing about it is he doesn't have to play every down with that 300.
mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't have to play every down with that 300. So, man, what BV is building on defense, just with a complementary offense, dude, it's gonna be different. And I'm not doing the Jaden Pickell. I'm not doing all that. I'm not coming from a father aspect. I'm coming from a sports person. This
Yeah,
is what I do every day now for a living. And I'm telling you, that D line, that defense will put the offense in situations to win us football games.
that's right.
If you go back to the Tennessee game, they put us in situations to win the football game. Offense just regurgitated everything that they gave them.
Right.
Point blank.
Well, and then you add in obviously Marcus Strong, like you were just talking about. He
Oh
looks
yeah.
like you're going to have to play.
Man, that's my dude, man. I
Right?
mean, on that
Well,
line,
yeah,
Marcus Strong, man.
love him.
That cat look good,
Well, we've
bro.
been waiting on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've been waiting on him for a while. Then you got a freshman in Trent Wilson who, man, looks like he's 40. He looks like he been driving a truck for a while. You know what I'm saying? He just looks like, and you expect a little something out of him even as a freshman.
Yeah.
And then obviously with me, I've been a big fan of Nigel Smith since they were recruiting him, and
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see a lot of him playing three, but also moving out to the edge some. I think as well, depending on what they're trying to
Yeah,
do.
that's why he want to be. He want to be on the edge, man. That's why now he gained a lot of weight. I think he's what
He's at
270 something.
280 or something
280.
like now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
up to 280, 80-ish,
But the
something like that.
but his athletic ability, if you
Dude,
look
it's
at what
unreal.
yeah, how he could
I was
jump a
telling people about
basketball
this,
and move, yeah, he
bruh.
got
His
great
dad
athletic.
was a pro basketball player.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
So,
I know.
and the thing is like with him, I remember the one dunk. I one of my short videos. We were talking about Nigel Smith, me and Jay, and where he gets the ball on the block, drop step dunk, just goes up, two-hand power dunks it, and the ball bounces once. It's like it knocked air out of it because it went boom, boom, and it just kind of stayed there on the ground. That's nasty. You know what I mean?
I
That's
mean,
like that's nasty.
he come from I mean, his granddad played college basketball, man. So
Yep.
he come from an athletic family, man. So
No
yeah,
doubt.
I'm looking forward to
Hard
seeing what
worker,
he
one of the
yeah.
hardworking dudes. You know, it's they've talked about that since he got here. Love him. But again, that's we just talked about seven, almost eight guys right there on
Mhm.
that in that particular area.
Right.
And you could see all of them getting playing time. Now you start moving out to the edges. Oh, bro, it's and I'm waiting to see PJ out of Barway be what we've expected to see him be as a 5-star guy coming in. This is year
Mhm.
3 now. Injuries were kind of an issue for him. He was nicked up quite a bit last year.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he comes back more healthy, but you got R. Mason Thomas on the other edge, one of the top guys in the country for sacks last year. And bro, good
Man.
luck. Good luck. Go ahead and try to double team him. Because guess what? You do that, you're going to open up a lot of stuff on the inside. You're going to open up a lot of stuff for PJ and guys like, hey, not for nothing, but you got a guy out there by the name of but what the hell am I just doing? Whoa.
Talking about on the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm talking about Marvin Jones Jr. though.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Bro, he's coming in, nobody's expecting a whole lot out of him. He came from Georgia, he came from Florida State. But we know that you gotta kinda crank it up a little bit. The talk about whether his motor ran high enough or whatever, okay.
Dude,
Uh,
here's
you're
the
not gonna get
thing.
on the field if it doesn't, so my expectations are a little higher there.
Well, to hear BV and Miguel Chavis talk about the kid, I mean, he's getting ready. And to come to Oklahoma, man, you have to have a high motor to be at Oklahoma. I'm not talking about just on the offense. The BV is a uh how can I say this? He's an energizer bunny. I've never seen him in a down moment ever. In losses, I mean, he's just an energizer bunny, man. That's all
Yeah, yeah.
you gotta have that kind of motor to be at Oklahoma. If you're not,
Oh, no.
he's not gonna want you here.
No, and that's the whole thing. You've heard nothing but good stuff about it. The other guy
Mhm.
that I can't wait, I mean, the guy that I really can't wait to see though is our boy Danny Okoye. Can't
Yeah,
wait to see this guy.
yeah. I mean,
He's
Danny
chomping at the
Okoye.
bit. He's chomping at the bit to get on the field.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. It's so much damn talent. And so here's the thing. I know as an athlete, when I get my shot,
Yep,
I'm going. You see what I'm saying?
yep.
So I know when they do put me out there on that field, I gotta go get it because there's another cat right behind me or right beside me. I mean, that's the situation that you have with that defense. You got a bunch of hungry guys. I ain't talking about some guys that just want to eat. I'm talking about some hungry guys. These guys are hungry. PJ's, he's hungry. Sims, he's
Yeah.
hungry.
Listen,
R.
and
Mason is
boy,
hungry. They're not just wanting to eat, they hungry. That's a difference between the two.
hey, Sugoi, if you do, you would single block him right now and then watch him eat you alive. You know what I mean? That they're gonna have to look, and here's the thing,
Who's this?
we've talked
PJ.
about
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
you can't be he was hurt. There was some injury issues with him last year, but he was starting to come around. I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you right
yeah.
now, this dude ain't no joke.
Man, he's a
He ain't no
freak of
joke.
he's
And
a
his
freak of nature. He's
oh,
a freak
those
of
yeah,
nature.
dude, that wingspan is ridiculous. He's got arms that hang to the damn ground,
Hmm.
you know? And it's just I think you gotta turn him loose. But here's the thing. If you don't get everything that you think that if he is sus, if he's not looking good, like what you're saying here, Sugoi, believe me, he won't be in.
No, he won't be in. No, they're not gonna just put him in to put him in.
No, they're not. You're gonna have to you gotta earn your spot on these damn in these at this time. with this defense, this isn't like what we're used to seeing out of Oklahoma defenses, where you got to go with who you got to go with. No, you don't. Not now.
And wait
Not
on
now.
that, and wait on the offense to just score, score, score. That I mean, I think the offense is going to be good. And when I mean by good, I mean I feel like they're going to be real efficient. You know, we defense get us the ball on the 20-yard line. I think we score. Last year we had problems that couldn't do that. You know, things like, you know, if it's a tough ball game, no three and outs. If we get out there and we get a couple first down, 2 or 3 first downs, get that defense back out on the field where they got some rest, that type of offense. Score when we need to score. When they down, you gotta kick them. I think the offense is going to do that. Some defenses we're going to be able to take advantage of just because of the quarterback play. I think our wide receiver play is solid. You get Gibson back. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be real, real helpful for us. But even without him right now, with the guys that brung in and just, um, you know, Arbuckle's system and John Mateer knowing this system so well, that's going to help us through them first 3 to 4 games. Then after that, everybody else should have been caught up, and then it should be time to roll. It should be trying to. It should be trying to. It should be time to get it after them first 4 games because everybody. It's going to be different for everybody, but you, like I said, you got 2 people that's been here with that system. We're not going to be
Mhm.
lost or looking for what we're going to do like we were last year.
Right.
We was trying to find something after the Tulane game. We were just trying to find something that worked.
Anything that worked.
Yeah, we're just trying to find something that worked. What can we do here? What can we do there? Maybe if we change this up. I mean, you got to realize, y'all, how much change that offense and the offensive line went through last year.
Yep.
You went through 2 coordinators, one who was just incompetent of what they should have been doing with the football, and the other one who was a first year guy who I think did a hell of a job for coming in at the last minute, didn't have a spring, didn't have a fall, just this plate is yours, his fixed it. So people don't look at it like that. So
What do you mean?
people don't
You mean
look at.
around the country? People around the country aren't looking
Yeah,
at it.
people around the country didn't look at it like that. They look at it, all the man. Joe John had to come in. He couldn't go with what he had because that wasn't working. So
Uh-huh.
he didn't get a spring to evaluate his offense. He didn't get a fall to evaluate his offense. He
Right.
got thrown in the damn frying pan on 9.
Mhm. And Kevin Johns too, coming from all he's
Right.
doing is advanced scouting and stuff like that. Now all of
Yeah.
a sudden you
So
gotta take over the
right.
quarterback room, figure out what you're gonna get done there,
Yeah, man, that's a
and
hard
come up
ass.
with a game plan that's gonna work.
And you're not doing this in the damn MAC.
Yeah.
You're not doing this in the MAC. You're doing it in the SEC.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is. But I said we got a Norman fan. Now,
Yeah.
T-Bone.
Everybody's a Norman fan, man. See, they all love his ass. He's right here. They
Oh,
said good
damn.
morning, Norm. They said good morning. He
Oh,
says good
no.
morning too. He's up here now. Um, but talking about the offense, I think that was the other thing I was going to bring up. Probably as big and as important as anything for this defense to reach the heights that we know we need it to reach. Here he comes. In order for the defense to reach those heights that we want it to reach, the offense is going to have to be better anyway. That's the whole thing. And we're not talking about an offense that has to go out here and lead the way, is like what we're used to seeing, where it's completely, you got to go out there and score 40 or more to win. If you can score 30, I think that you're going to win 10 games. If
You
you're
score,
if you're
you score
scoring
30,
30,
35 points, you're going to win 10 ball games with
yep,
this defense.
that's right. I think so too,
Definitely.
man.
I don't see, and here's the thing, too, Jason. The games that we got 30 plus put on us is for games that we just could not move the football. And the defense had to be out there for a long time. Yeah, Cottrell. I mean, Latrell. Yeah, it kind of hurt having him as the OC. I mean, and here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna say this: if you go back over that man's career, he's had a pretty good career. Something happened here that I don't know what happened, because I looked at when he was at North Texas, and he's done some good things.
Yeah, I know.
It just didn't gel here. You
Well,
know.
it's and look, we could talk about that all day, but I don't really wanna get too deep into
No,
it.
no, no. I was
All
just
I know
answering
is
his
there were some
question.
things that, like, we've kinda talked about in the past that I mean, there's a reason why I feel like there were some things that were a little not good, but,
Hmm.
the main thing about it, I think it was just inability to communicate with the rest of his staff and to get his what he wanted across to, I don't think that they were all on the same page, and I don't think he was very good at communicating it, and that's the biggest problem. All these dudes don't understand that offense. Every one of those dudes that are in the room now and were in the room then understand the offense that Latrell was running. They've all been in it. It's nothing. It's the Mike Leach offense. It started with Mike Leach when they were all playing back in the day at Oklahoma. Talking, and so it's nothing new when it comes to that. Same thing, the same kind of stuff that Josh Heupel likes to do, right? It's the same stuff. So it's not like it couldn't have been done. I think the problem is that whatever it was, there was some issues with communication between everybody and what needed to be done. In the end, I'm so glad that he is gone. I mean, listen, I think it had to be it had to happen. It had to happen. And you're right with this. The hire was not so much on BV. It wasn't. I don't think that he necessarily wanted him. I don't think he necessarily wanted him to be the guy, but I do think that BV needed to be a little more. I think he should have probably been a little more picky to start with, because from everything we've heard is that he wanted to fire him in the spring. He definitely wanted to fire him in the fall, and they weren't about to let him do that before he ever coached a game. It had to go and get as bad as it got in order for Seth to get out of there.
Mm. And see, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know it was bad in the spring. I didn't. That's some talk that we hear now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, it's. I mean,
yeah,
that's when
but
it always comes
I
about.
didn't
It
know
always
that.
comes about later. I mean, they're not going to talk
Yeah,
about that shit at the moment that it's happening because they
correct.
didn't want to get rid of him. It's going to be quiet. And BV's, hey man, he's just like most coaches, they're pretty quiet about what's going on inside the bubble. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it makes sense. But in the end, I would just say that look, had they have been a little better, then you probably I think this could have I think it was somewhat of a blessing that it got as bad as it did, because had it not, then who's to say what would have happened, right? Who's to say a very who's to say if it would have been able to, if you would have been able
Salvage it.
to salvage it, or if they would have kept him around, to be, you don't end up with John Mateer. I mean, all these things that happen, they do happen for a reason. And I think that they had to be that bad for it to get that bad. Like they weren't going to fire him even after Red River until the next week. It was terrible.
Was
Now
that
in
South
the end,
Carolina?
yeah, the
Yeah,
South
South
Carolina
Carolina.
game, terrible. And it's an awful game plan. A lot of you'll talk, people talk about Hawkins turned the ball over 3 times. Well, yeah, that's because they had a tight end that wasn't a blocking tight end at that was struggling with it.
And if you want to talk about, let's go a little bit into that. And I'm talking about offensive line play. If you go back and look at a lot of the game film, guys, it wasn't snap the ball and somebody on me. It was 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Here they come. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you think about it, man, if you hold a ball or you don't know where to go with the football, I mean, it could be something different. You take the old Miss game when Sexton went out, then they moved somebody over. Then that was a game like the second half, they got more pressure on us. But outside of those two games, South Carolina and Ole Miss, it wasn't as bad as people seem if you go back and watch the tape.
Yeah. Welcome into the show, Reggie Powers Jr., the father of Reggie Powers the third, safety / cheetah here at Oklahoma. What's up, my guy? Good to see you.
What's going on, man? You guys
What's
can hear
up?
me all right?
Yeah, we got you, man. We got you.
Okay, good. Good, good.
All
Doing
right.
good, man. Can't complain. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, man, it's always good to have you on, bro. We're gonna have to get you on more. But no, listen, we were just talking. We're obviously talking a lot about the defense today and stuff. I wanted to Boganowski, I know he's busy today too, but I was hoping we'd be able to get somebody to come in and talk some more about it. But I really been wanting to talk about Reggie anyway. We've been talking about position by position and stuff. Wanted to kind of save the safeties until you got here. What has been your feeling? I mean, obviously we feel like if you got an elite defense with an offense like what we expect right now, this is a team that could definitely compete for a spot in the playoff. And if you're truly elite on that side of the ball, no telling how far they can go. How big has it? What is it that you've seen, and what are you hearing from your son as far as what you think out of that secondary, especially the safety room, and the cheetah obviously that kind of plays into that as well. I mean,
I think when everybody first come on, it's lagging a little bit.
yeah, I don't know why. Go ahead. I think we got you
Mhm.
back, Reg.
Okay. Yeah, so he's saying everybody's looking good. There's a good competition. The fact that, even though Gentry was out, he should be back and ready to go for the season in fall. It's just going to have like a complete room. Like you're not just dependent on one guy. Like everybody brings something different to the table.
Mhm.
The corners, like, just like you guys were saying with the D line, having 5'6" is a mandatory for the D line to have 5 guys that can go, 6 guys that can go every game. Having 4 corners, a legit 4 corners, a legit 3 to 4 safeties, because everybody's not going to, no one's playing 100% of the snaps. They're just looking really good. You know what I mean? They're looking really good. The cheetah position is going to be good. I'm not sure if Dolby end up playing cheetah or play corner, or if it'd be just Reg and Daniels. I'm not sure, but like the main thing is like there's options and there's not
Yeah.
like a huge drop off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is not having a big drop off, right? Because you got to be like, and Marcus jump in with that too, because we were talking about that. Is you got to be fresh in the fourth quarter, or if an injury happens or whatever, you can't have that be automatically they're going to start picking on that spot, right?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you from, like I say, I just hate to go back to Bama, but living in Columbus, only 45 minutes away from Tuscaloosa, and having kids to play for Nick, that was his big thing, man. He rotated a lot. I mean, and that's why those defenses were able to make plays because, man, his rotation was just so heavy on the D line and at corner. If you go back and just look at it, man. So if you're a team that your offense is limited to the 11 guys that you got out, and you're not deep, and you can't get some more guys out there to get them some breaks, then a defense like what Oklahoma's putting together is going to wear you down. They're gonna take you out. It might not be the first quarter, it might not be the second, but the third and fourth, you're done. And I've seen that, years and years. I even seen, you've seen a little bit with Brent defenses with Clemson when he had Big Williams and all those guys on the D line, man. So, I mean, I see the same model that he had at Clemson. I see the same model that Nick had in his really good years before NIL and all that same stuff came about when he was able to stack guys in the room.
Right. Hey, Reg, do you have the other where you were watching this before you came on? Is that still? Do you still have that? Because I think we're getting a
That was
little.
on my phone. Hold on, let me see.
Okay,
I
I was just making sure because we were getting a little bit of echo off of what. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
I cut it.
cool. So, tell us tell us about how's Reggie doing, man. I know you were talking about him at Cheetah, and he was enjoying his Wes Goodwin and everything that he's kind of learning from
Yeah.
him. How do you feel about
So
him at that position?
Well, at Cheetah, that's what he played in high school. So like this is like he started as a sophomore and been playing Cheetah. So this will be his fifth year at that role. At his
Nice.
high school they Elk. So he's used to being run blitzing, blitzing the quarterback, playing zone in the flats, carrying people with a safety over top. So like he knows all that. But the interesting thing with him is though they like his versatility. So he works at strong safety too. So
Yep.
they'll move him around. Probably want focus more on one or the other this year, and then next year he'll kind of be like doing whatever's needed because he's a good size. He's 6'1", about 210. He stays between 210, 212. So
Yeah.
he can hold up versus the running backs and stuff like that. But like he can still run well. So
Yeah, man. And we know he can hold up. He dropping bombs on people out there when he comes in, man. He's big hitter, big hitter.
Man, that's
yeah,
one
so it'll
thing.
be good.
BV love big hitters, man. Him and Bo. I mean, to be honest with you, man, our strong safeties are the size of some people linebackers, bro. When you're looking at size, man. So, man, that's good to hear, man. Good to hear. And how much did he weigh last year, Red?
He was like 208, something like that. He had got 213, but that was kind of in the winter
Yeah.
with Watkins. So now back down. He'll probably play at like 210. And
Okay.
because once it gets just closer to the season, you got to work on your body composition. So he'll
Yeah.
probably he need to be like 8% body fat, something like that. So
Oh yeah.
he'll be
Definitely.
good. But yeah, he gets a lot of reps at both of those positions. Just make all that he'll be ready to go.
You muted, Jason.
I said that's exciting. I think that room itself, the safety room, is probably to me one of the more exciting
Oh
uh,
yeah.
positions on the team, just because it's so deep back there. I mean, you got
Talent.
lots of depth. You Peyton Bowen still. I mean, you can't kind of underscore what he's meant to, even as a freshman when he came in, how important he was to the back end of that. And then of course now with Billy out, you gotta have these guys uh with with some experience, and then the guys that you got to have the guys that have a little bit of experience, but you got to have guys that can get in there and kind of fill in that role. How's it have I guess that was my next question, was what's it been like not having a guy like Billy Bowman in the room though? You know what I mean? I think that's a big question.
Uh, Spears has been Spears Jennings has picked up his being vocal and stuff like that, but Billy showed those guys what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So extra film, getting to the field and stuff like that. So that's something that they're always getting extra work in. So like they've kind of learned from him. So of course, you got to do it. You know what I mean? But there hasn't been a drop off. Like anybody, no one has been like, okay, we can just chill. We got our spots. So no, everybody's trying to get work. Everybody's trying to get better because they know, with like you guys been saying, the safety room is so competitive. Like nobody can slack because once you give somebody else your reps, you might not get them back, dog. So
Exactly.
so like you got to be good in the classroom. You got to make sure you're good in the film room and all that stuff because there's too many people that can take your spot.
No doubt. And that's, you know, it's a hell of a luxury to have to be like that. And this isn't something that Oklahoma fans are used to. I think that was early on when we were just talking about this, is like we need PJ to be this and this and this year. And it's like, well, do you though? Because if he's not, then he probably won't get a lot of playing time. That's the nature of the beast on this defense, is that the guys that are performing will be on the field, and the ones that aren't probably won't be.
Yeah.
You don't have to settle for, well, he's all we got. You don't have a lot of that going on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and they understand. Hey, those coaches practice after practice. They all get together and they watch that film too. So if they've told you something 3-4 times and you still doing it and you're not comprehending it, that's not good. So you got to make the corrections. You got to take it serious because you can get beat out there.
No doubt. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Hardy too. I think we've heard about pretty much everybody in that safety room has been
Talented.
exceptional. You know, even some of the freshmen. You know what I mean? So the expectations are what they are. And yes, Brandon Hall, Coach Hall does do work when it comes to that recruiting, man. He out there making sure he's filling up the room. What do you think is the most important thing about this defense this year? What do you think is going to be the difference between them being the top unit in the SEC and not?
Honestly, I forget who I was talking about, but I've thought of this a couple times. Like last year, and Coach, uh, you know, a lot of those games where the Temples and the Tulanes where we supposed to be blowing people out and
Mhm.
we weren't, some of the younger guys didn't get reps. So it's going to be important to take care of business on those games this year early
Mhm.
so the Reggies, the Hardys can get meaningful snaps and figure things out. So when they get to the SEC schedule, they get to Auburn, they get to Texas, like they're ready to go and they have like film experience to go off. They've got game experience because yes, they were in the sidelines, they were doing special teams, they're in those environments, but you got to be out there with someone that's game planning to do something towards you. You know what I mean? So we've got
Exactly.
those early games, we got to put 50, 60 on them dudes. Like,
Yeah, man.
you gotta
And
get it over. You gotta get it over
I
with.
said the
You gotta get it
same
over.
thing. I said the same thing. Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was asking me about some different situations, and I said, man, that's something that's got to happen. Because you got I don't care how talented you are, game reps, man, means a lot. It means a lot. So, those games that we're out there and the temples, man, we got to put 60. We got to get, it's like Michael Irvin them used to come in and say, hey, look, I want to be sitting down by the third quarter.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how it needs to be, man. So um hopefully, man, like I said, we got a better offense. I think we got a more efficient offense. I think we got a better more experience and a deeper depth on the offensive line. And I think, like I said, I hate to keep going back to this, but I think our quarterback play is going to be a lot better. You won't be holding the football. I think he'll get rid of the football, or he's going to take out running, man. I just think we're going to be more efficient
Mhm.
on offense, and that's going to help the defense. Period. So like last year, we had some cases, even in some games, like even in the Tulane game, if the offense had been more efficient, then guess what? We could have got some of them guys on the field. I mean, even some of the younger offensive linemen and
Yeah.
some of the younger guys on defense. So you 100% correct. We got to be more efficient on offense. You got to put up more points so you can get those guys out there, because the quicker you get those guys out there and they get game experience, deeper in the year, you can use that experience in SEC play because you got some film to go off of and you
Mhm.
got game time reps.
Well, and even just talking about you've heard a lot about they were number one in defensive efficiency. Well, but that didn't equate to being the number one defense because of the fact that you're just on the field too much, and so
Mhm.
obviously the offense has to do it. Complementary football. Complementary football is
Yeah.
the name of the game, and so it's not that you have to go out there and score 50 all the time. It's what you have to take advantage of good opportunities that your defense gives you. When you get a turnover, go score. Especially in plus territory, go down there and put points on the board. Don't and that way it felt to me like, and you've heard more. I know we've heard about this, throughout the offseason, is that by the time the end of the year was rolling around, these guys on the defensive side knew damn good and well that unless they got a defensive touchdown, chances are you're not going to win.
Mhm.
Mhm. And another
You know?
thing too, if you look at it too, Jason, you think about the offense. That's Who are they going against every day? They're going against a pretty good damn defense.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what I'm looking at, guys, is what they're going against in the spring and what they're going against in the fall. And the BV loves to go a lot of good on good. So um, some people like it, some people don't. But it does prepare you for who you're going up against. And if that offense can be efficient against that defense, then dude, it's gonna help a lot. And Rich, let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
What did the guys on defense? And I know the got your defensive guys, your offensive guys, but how do the guys on defense how do they feel about the new offense and what the chances
Great
are?
question. Great question. Somebody was asking
getting
that
on the
in
field.
the comments just now too. So great question.
No, I was talking well, Reg always says like material, he is like really legit.
Yeah,
Javon, he's the truth. But it's just like last year, and I talked to Sammy on the during the Crimson Combine on the field, Masego. It was just like the offense will win, get a couple plays or have a good day, then the defense will get them, and then it'll be going back and forth, which that's what you want because going into practice, I got to have my shit together. Otherwise, this dude's going to be throwing it over my head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, there's misdirection, there's all that stuff. So, they're preparing themselves for the season because both sides know that they got to put their work in. Like Red, even like I know you asked about what he thinks about the offense, but he's even said like some of the linemen have come up to him and because like he's tough to block on his run fits. You know what I'm saying? And when he blitzes, Coach Murray was like, you got to stop running over the running backs. So it's like they know, but he also knows if he gets in the slot and if he doesn't have proper good technique, somebody's going to burn him on an out or something like that too. So they got respect for each other. They got big respect.
That's cool, man. That's that's what you want to hear in the locker room, man. That makes a locker room tight. I think Mateus, he's doing some good things, man. He even took the offensive lineman man out for a fishing trip last weekend, man. So they went out, man. They went out to Lake Texaco or whatever it is, and man, they went out there and caught some fish, man, and kind of did the bonding thing. So what I like about it, man, and I hate to get off on the quarterback, but what I like about him is he genuinely cares about the guys that's in the locker room and that's around him. Everybody don't have that personality. That might not have been Jackson Arnold's personality to do those type things. But it is Mateus' personality. And when you do those type things, it make you want to go a little bit harder on that field for him. I mean, it's the way it is, playing football myself, as many times that me and my quarterback and some of the other guys, we went and said, hey man, look, let's put some meat on the grill. That type of thing, man, does a lot for you. Does a lot. I remember one day we had
bonding time, man.
bonding time. We had an off week and McNair came to the room and he was like, hey man, let's go to Natchez and get some and let's go get a case of chicken. Man, we went and got the case of chicken, put it on the grill, and that just makes that when you're on the field and he's in trouble, it makes you like I got his six. You know what I'm saying? So that what they're doing right now, that's not anything that the coaches told them that they got to do. They doing that kind of stuff on their own, man. And so that's why I'm saying a lot of people don't know. A lot of talking heads are talking, well, they got to show me, and I get it. I'm the same way, but I see what's being built.
Yeah.
And I see what they're doing.
Well, it
And
wasn't
what
that far away, right? It wasn't that far away from being a lot different season a year ago. I mean,
yeah. And the thing about it is, now I'm gonna say this back to the defense. You take an offense that can put some points up and that could give those guys some rest. Oh, that defense is gonna be nasty. So that's why I think, a lot of people ask me here, back at home and up at Ole Miss, they're like, man, how many, y'all think y'all don't win 7 games like next year? I'm like, hey man, just stay tuned. I don't talk we're going to playoffs. I ain't doing all that. I said, hey, just stay tuned, because I don't want to be the one to say this is gonna happen, but I do know what the feel is.
Yeah.
And I do know what they're going through right now.
Real quick, we got a super chat here from Sooners for Life. Hey man, thank you very much. He says this podcast is the shit. Well done, Jason. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Appreciate that. True Okie in here. Mars Jams has popped in since we started doing this. Sooners for Life. Scott Walker. Good to see all you guys in here as well. Yeah, listen, man. I love it. And just you talk about you have to talk about the quarterback if you're going to talk about the offense. And I know there was a lot of stuff that could have made it so much different last year. listen, a couple of plays here and there, and they're at 8 wins, just easy. You know what I mean? There's at least 2 games they damn sure should have won. There was 4 that they could have won. You know what I mean? 4 other ones that they could have won. 4 total games that they could have won. Just figure if you take 2 of those, you don't have the turnovers that you end up having at the wrong times, like the Mizzou game. Even like Ole Miss, you got the lead going into the half. There's a chance for you to go win that damn football game. So, just having a competent offense that's going to be able to play complementary football, I think the sky is the limit on that. I think that the question that you would have is, where is that offensive line? I think it's looking good. Everything we hear is it's looking really good. Everybody's coming back, starting to get healthy at this point. You got a guy like Jaden Ott coming into the room who is a big time running back. You've got, of course, hey man, and not say anything bad about the ones that are already there, because Xavier Robinson, I think Taylor Tatum can be unbelievably good. Javante Barnes going into his senior year, I think that he's got an opportunity to kind of put up some numbers too. I think it's becoming like what we were just saying, though, on the other side is you better play well, because if you don't, you're not going to get a chance. You're not going to make it to the top and be starting or be getting a lot of reps.
Well, you talk about the running back room, man. I just kind of want to look at, everybody say, well, running backs, they're a dime a dozen, but that's a lie. If Ole Miss did not lose Jutkins, they make the playoffs. Ole Miss, Jutkins ended up going to Ohio State. They had 2 really good running backs, and both of them got drafted, and they won a national championship. So, I think the days of college teams having that one bell cow, man, just everybody's so talented with, like I said, what we talked about, the rotation of the defensive linemen. So I think you gotta have those 2 bell cows now to win. I don't think just one guy running him to death is going to get it. I think you got to have 2 guys that bring something different to the table, but both are elite.
Yeah, I agree with that, because like the only time you'll see the bell cow is like at maybe the P5, the group of 5. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because like they may not have big time football, SEC, Big Ten. You're gonna have to have a multitude of backs. One, because people will leave if they don't play, and then those lower levels like a Genty or something like that. That's their dude. They don't have nobody else.
That's it. They don't have nobody else.
So they're going to give them the rock. So that's the only level, like Oklahoma, Alabama, stuff like that. You can't do that because you recruit too many good people. And if they see that it's a one system and they ain't the guy, they're gone. The one back system, they're gone.
And Reggie, I live about 45 minutes from Ole Miss, and everybody, my business partner writes for Ole Miss, and they know that they should have paid that cat as much as all the crazy stuff, because they couldn't replace him.
Yeah.
They couldn't replace him. They have Quinson Judkins. That whole season goes a little bit different.
I was fixing to say, can you imagine, they shouldn't have lost to Kentucky either way, but I don't think they probably do if they got a guy like Quinson.
No.
You know what I mean?
Even LSU. I mean, that was a last minute deal. And they could have ran the football. They didn't have to throw the football, but they had to throw the football more than they wanted to.
Florida too, same thing. Look at that. Jackson Dart threw 4 interceptions, and one of them got taken back or whatever. But and then Florida turned it over again on another one. I mean, they ended up, but he kept throwing picks right at the end.
He short circuited. I was watching that like, what is going on? Like I was like, did he take a hit? Did he take a hit early or something like that? Because like he was.
Hey, actually, he did. He did take a hit earlier, man.
I think you're right. Short circuited is a perfect word for that.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is he doing, man?
I didn't know.
Yeah, I wish we played this Jackson Dart.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what I was like, man, hand the ball off. You know what I mean? Give the damn ball to somebody. But golly.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, listen, does he use H-back? No, he does. Listen, the one thing, if go back and watch some of the film and some of the things that they did at Washington State. I saw him in a jumbo package a couple of times.
Yeah. He
under center and shit like that.
He does what's
He's
necessary.
not married to anything. If it's going to work and he knows it'll work, I think he'll use it. And so the good news, the thing I was going to say about the quarterback situation, which is what I like the most. Look, one of the things that I love about what this defense is and going to be, we know we're going to get a lot of pressure out of it. Whether it comes from, you're going to get some blitzes and some certain stunts and things like that they're going to do. But I think you can do it with the light box too. You don't have to depend on having a heavy box, which is important in the SEC. But just like that, it's important that he knows he's got so much understanding of the offense. This is year 3. I think that Oklahoma's defense is going to do so well against opposing quarterbacks because they're in their first year.
Mm-hmm.
We
You
got
have a lot of quarterbacks
7 or 6 out of
that don't have a lot of experience, and that's going to go toward these defensive coordinators like BV, Kirby Smart. That's really, really strong defensive minded. I'm
6 out of our 8 opponents in the SEC have a first year quarterback.
Yeah,
and the same, and then probably the same with Michigan's quarterback as well.
Oh yeah,
So these are good things. But that being said, you could say that about Mateer, except for yes, he's new to Oklahoma, and yes, he's going to be new to the SEC, but he's not new to this offense. He's already had a full season as a starter in the offense with not as good of weapons, I would say. And this is year 3 of him being under this coordinator right here and having his opportunity. I think that John Mateer has every reason to be expecting a big year. I expect him to be in New York. I do. I don't know that he wins the Heisman. I think he's going to have a shot at it.
Here's the thing, Jason. Even when they was at Washington State, and this just me coming from me, this a football guy. This does not have anything to do with Oklahoma. Even with him being at Washington State, he did not have the weapons that he's going to have at Oklahoma. So guess what? As a football coach, as a passing game coordinator, I can only do certain things because of my talent. When my talent goes up, I can do more. So you're probably going to see some things from Arbuckle that you did not see at Washington State for the simple reason that he has more talent. And when you have more talent, you can do different things. So, people are going to go back and they're going to watch the Washington State stuff, man. But it's, I think he has a lot more different things to add with the talent that he has, and you probably won't see all of that until we get in the SEC play, or if we having trouble with Michigan, you might see some of it. But I just think he has some different stuff that he can use now because his talent level.
I'm just saying his willingness to go to something like that, like using an H-back or anything like that. It's not like he's unwilling, is what I was saying.
No. But I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying overall, man, just what, different talent that you have now, that you're going to be able to do some things that you just couldn't do, with that type of talent that he had at Washington State.
And I think what he brings too is when we watch our games and I watch other games. So I'm a Washington Huskies fan, so I watch them. I watch, I'm in Ohio, so I watch Ohio State. So watch a lot of football. Like we're going to be able to scheme people open. You know what I'm saying? See somebody wide open. Like there was never if our receiver didn't beat the guy, it was not a completion.
Not a completion.
No, there was very few layups.
Man, yeah. And Reggie, I don't understand exactly what you're saying. I had this kid named Kai Holiday, and he's playing baseball now. Hopefully he makes the draft this year. But I had him one year, man. He was just a freak athlete, and he was able to do things, and me, I took it, okay, I got this guy, he's doing this, doing that. The next year, I get a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, man, that it makes a big difference, man, having somebody that could do that. And then I lost a receiver that clocked in like 1,200 yards, man. And I'm like, I had one that had 1,200 and one that had 900 and one that had, because we threw for like 3,400 yards that year. And when I lost those weapons, I'm thinking I got my scheme. Nah, bro. Uh, that doesn't work like that, man. So yeah, it's gonna be
Players
different.
make the scheme look damn good, don't
Man,
they?
what make the coach look good, bro?
Yeah, they
I
do.
look like a mastermind, man, that year. Shoot, man, the next year I was struggling. I think we went for like 3,400. The next year I think we threw for a little over 2. And
Oof.
I was trying to throw it every down, man. We were me and the OC. I was a passing game coordinator, man. But it was crazy, man. It was crazy. So yeah, it's gonna be a big difference. Big difference.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I think being able to run the ball is important to be able to do that first. You know
Yes,
what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think that they believed that you were they didn't believe that you were even gonna try to run the football most of the time. You know what I
mm-mm,
mean?
mm-mm. Well,
Uh,
everybody knew we had problems running the ball and we had problems holding on to the ball. You know, with the freshman, I think that kid has a lot of stuff in his basket, man. I really does. I mean, from jump cut to
who, Tory?
move.
Blaylock?
No, no. Tatum.
Oh,
Um,
oh yeah,
yeah,
Tatum.
Tatum has a lot of stuff, man. His deal was fumbling, man, and it's not a secret. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But that kid, talent guy. If you go back and look at the games look at some of the moves that he made on that football field. Man, I'm talking about. I've watched his jump cut. I watched him do some different things. Yeah, he got to get better on the blocking part of it. He's a freshman. Come on.
Yeah.
But you get him to secure the football. He's a dude.
Yeah, and he's one of those ones where it's like you don't have to watch 4 games. You see a couple moves, and be like, okay, that guy can go. You know
He
what
can
I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the same thing. And I thought maybe you were talking about Tory because we're hearing that Tory Blaylock is showing up too.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, man. That's
So,
a good problem to have. but
oh yeah,
you got Jay Knox, you got Barnes, man, you got Tatum. I'm gonna be honest with you. If those guys are doing well, I don't burn that kid red shirt.
yeah. Well, and Xavier Robinson too. Don't forget about Xavier.
And X Rob,
Hey man, X Rob was
yeah.
super important at the end of the year. Super
Yeah,
important.
so that's why I say, man, that room is full. It's gonna be hard to get everybody touches. We all
Sure.
know that. But let's go back to what Reggie said in the beginning. Um, those teams that we supposed to blow out, let's blow them out so these guys can get some reps. So they say, you know what, my time coming. But if you
Yeah.
sitting on the bench and you don't even get any reps in those games, you're going to be looking for somewhere else to go, and that's the nature of what football is.
Yeah.
So you blow these teams out. These guys get some reps. They feel good about themselves. They got a high PFF. Then they're good. But like I said, we got to take care of business on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely got to take care of it on the front end. And look, hey man, everybody that's in here saying this about DeMarco Murray and he needs to do this and do that, I agree. I'm gonna agree with you all. We need to see a good rotation, a smart rotation, and it needs to make sense. But I think you got to go with a hot hand too. Whoever's running the best, it's just like every other position on the team. Who's the best player? I don't care whoever that is, play them.
Well,
Just
dude,
play
I'm
them.
gonna tell you this: Nagy didn't bring Ida in to sit on the bench. Just,
Yeah.
Of
just
course
being
not.
honest
Of
with you.
course not. No,
And I think the system of how they did things, I think that's changed a lot too.
yeah,
So the running back room, you got a new offense coordinator. We don't know what his deal is. He might want certain running backs in certain situations. I think years past has been pretty much on DeMarco, but I think it'll be. I'm just not. Nobody's told me this, but I think it'll be more a situational thing about who he has in the football game. That would be
Yeah.
the smart thing to do. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
sure, I agree with that. Now, Reg, you played at UW, right?
No. This is my favorite team. No.
Okay, okay, all right. It's your favorite team. Did you grow up around there or something? How did they become your
No,
favorite?
I'm in Ohio. I just all my teams aren't from Ohio. I don't none of my I like the Yankees, I like the Raiders, I like
Okay,
Washington.
okay, all right, all right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you one of those guys. You hometown. Yeah. It's just like
No.
me. I grew up a Michigan fan. My dad, my grandfather, his mom and my grandmother and all my friends. You go back to the Flintstones. My cousin played in Michigan.
Mhm.
I just Michigan, man, Big Blue. I've always been a Big Blue fan, man. So yeah, I get it. Everybody's like, man, Mississippi State on Miss. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hit it.
Michigan basketball is my favorite team
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
Fab
yeah,
Five. Fab
yeah.
Five.
The
My little
Fab
second,
Five. I remember them.
my second cousin is Trey Burke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So man, yeah. So that's that Big Blue is the fam, man.
Oh, I still remember Napoleon. You're talking about Napoleon Kaufman. There's a Raider and
Yeah, that was got him and Lincoln Kennedy.
Lincoln Kennedy.
and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Bro,
For
Napoleon
sure.
Kaufman was a bad dude.
Yeah, he was.
I remember that guy at UW. He was a bad dude. And
man.
Benji, good job bringing that one up. That's a good one. That's a good name to drop.
I ain't heard that name in a while.
That guy could ball, bro. That dude could
Remember, he
ball.
left. He retired to become a pastor. He only played
Yeah.
like 7, 8 years, and then he
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah. Well, I
Oh, he
remember, and he
had-
wasn't a huge guy, but
He was
dude
just
was,
yoked.
oh
Yoked.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Super yoke. Yeah, I remember him, man.
Right.
Man, I forgot all about him, man. I'm glad that's crazy. That's crazy. I was watching some things, man. You get a chance to listen to these shows and different things, and a lot of people it was talking about, just being in Mississippi, and a lot of people didn't realize the guys who had like brothers, like a lot of people didn't know that Eddie Payton played in the NFL before Walter did. Played like 5 or 6 years and wore 34 with the, I think he was with the Lions or whatever the situation was. But, I just love listening and hearing, sports history, man. And just, and bringing him back up, man, gonna make me go watch some stuff now, bro. Yeah, I love to do that. My wife said I'm a YouTube baby.
I love it. Neilio says, folks up here sure do remember Trey Burke and KC killed the Jayhawks late in the Sweet 16 at Jerry World.
Oh yeah,
He did indeed. Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to hop in a little. You guys got anything else for me?
No, man, I'm finna have to get out of here myself. I gotta get a haircut.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. No, I just want to make sure that we just want to get you in here to talk a little bit about Reg, and we're gonna have to get you back in here a little bit more, man. I was excited to have you on and talk a little ball with you, man. So appreciate it.
Right, we got to catch up, man. Me and Mike, we gonna get together, man. We got the tailgate this year, bro.
Okay, you taking over?
Yeah, man. So,
we're fixing to.
Hey, yeah, we got the tailgate this year, cuz.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about that too, Marcus, because I'm gonna jump in on that with you. Because I'm about to. It's about to be a lot different things going on with us, man. Got some ideas coming up, and definitely we're gonna be all over the place, man. It's gonna be lots of fun. But the tailgate stuff, I'm excited for. Hell yeah,
definitely, man.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming in, man. I appreciate it, there, Reg.
Oh, man. Appreciate you guys, man.
Let us know when you're ready to come back on, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, man.
All right, bro. I'll holler at you later, bro.
All right, man.
All right.
Reggie Powers Jr., father of Reggie Powers III. Man, we're excited about having this defense in the way it is. But yeah, hey, what are we talking about in here? He said that's why Jason's show is so good. Talk from yesterday or recently, resonate with so many. It's just fantastic. Hey, listen, man. You bring up, guy. We're sports fans. That's what I love about this show is that we're all a bunch of sports fans. You know what I mean? We just love watching games and love players. And man, I mean, aside from Texas, guys, and even then, I can talk about them too. Shit, I mean, we've talked about this before, but like Cedric Benson, that's my guy, man. He was my guy. Mm-hmm. And when he passed away, I hated that. It's been one of those tough ones for me to kind of deal with. Whenever I was in Midland, Texas, as a reporter, that's where he's from. He went to Midland Lee, and he was real good to us. That was right after he was just getting into the league at that time, and Cedric had a nice career in the NFL, but man, they used him up at Midland Lee and at Texas. Man, it was at Midland Lee. It was Cedric left, Cedric right, Cedric up the middle. That's how they did it. It's just what they did on play after play after play.
Yeah.
But I think that in the end, he was just a good dude and all that. And that's what I say. We talk about guys all the time in here. I love talking about different players from different eras and stuff like that. And, I go back to thinking about some of those dudes that played back when we were in high school and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And man, there's some ballers out there, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Some
definitely.
ballers out there for sure.
But like
So
I said, that defense, I think, just to put a cap on some of that stuff that Reg talked about, you talk about a secondary, man, in the cheetah position that's going to be super strong, man. And that's just, man, that's BV. That's who he is. He wanted to build that defense like he wanted to build it. And a lot of people had a lot of questions like, did he put too much in the defense and not put enough in the offense? Man, I don't think so, man. Because here's my thing: if you're a defensive guy, that's what you're going to build first. And I know he's a head coach, but he went to build a defense. A lot of things slipped in the offense that shouldn't have slipped and shouldn't have went the way it is. But all in all, man, I think we're in a good place. I see all the stuff, and I know you do too. All the hot seat stuff, man. I don't think there's a hot seat because I know what this team is capable of. So
I don't
uh,
think it's as hot as everybody thinks it is anyway.
nah,
But
nah,
I
nah.
think it would have to be a lot worse than what they're talking about. Look at this. We got a special surprise guest that just popped in the crib. What's up, Snoop?
What's up, man?
What's
I got
going on,
tired of
bro?
sitting in the chat, man. What's up, cuz?
Man, what's going on, bro?
You got
Man,
tired of
but
sitting in the chat. I didn't see you in the chat.
listen, I've been in the chat listening to your show while I was doing my show, bro. That's crazy.
Okay.
Cause I always it pops up on my live notifications or whatever, you and a few others, and I always click on it when I'm in my show. When I'm live and you pop up, I always click on it by accident, forget to turn the volume down in the background. So I'm back there and I'm nodding my head to stuff while people talking on the phone, and I'm listening to you while
Okay.
people on my phone. And I'm like, why do I hear Jason? So I had to go back and click it. I was like, dang. And I just finished probably like 30 minutes ago. So I've
What's
been sitting here watching.
That's good, man. I was popping in listening to you at first too, man. I had to get over here and get started, but hey,
Yeah,
welcome into the show, man. What's up?
man, that much, man. Look, man, you see big things popping. We growing over there on this side.
Yeah.
Big Cub,
Man, what it do, bro? What happened?
big things popping, man. We got to connect, man, with this recruiting stuff. Got some huge
Oh
things
yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah,
Got
that's
some
good,
huge
man. Like
things
I said, we
happening,
got
man.
some. Yeah, man, I tell you what, the last 2 weeks been tough for me, man. I had that mega camp and
Mega camp, man. You had how many people did you end up having in that thing?
1,300.
Yeah, I had like 17 guys for sure. I know confirmed. Let me
Oh,
know that they showed up, man, from around the
Yeah,
country. So
so it
pretty
was
solid.
pretty good, man. We had some solid guys, man. There, man. What is it? Dr. Phillips High School out in Orlando, Florida. Man, they pulled up. Well, it was. Um, I think they had like 55 kids from that area. And Charles Woodson, he didn't come, but his son did. And he was on that bus also, man. We had a big bus out of
that's huge.
Birmingham, the Hoover area, man. Hoover's
Over.
quarterback came. He came and he lit it up, man. He's a good looking kid.
Hey,
Uh, so you like I said, man, we had some talent there. I think I put my top five numbers up for speed. We're gonna do some defense stuff next week. Um, I think we had a kid that reached, I think 22 mile per hour or something like that, close to it. That's
Dang.
Yeah, that's moving, bro. That's moving. So we put the top five up yesterday, and that's something that's different. That a lot of kids they want that 40 time, but having a catapult there and giving verified time. So if you come here, you get verified everything, man. And that's
mm-hmm.
that's that's one thing that we like to do and like to give to the parents. But had talent, man. We had an offensive lineman that looked really good out of Jackson, Mississippi. I actually sent him to Coach Bimbo. Um,
Mm.
yeah, man, he's 6'5", probably about 285, 290.
Hey,
Dang.
you know
Moves
we do our
well,
high
man.
school highlight reviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays now on the Coach Swoon Network. That's what I was gonna say, man. I want to get you on
Yeah,
next Thursday. I got Hall Tech coming on Tuesday. He's been doing some great work with covering these under the radar guys. And then I love
mhm,
what you're doing in the state of Mississippi, man. A lot of your
I
guys are coming
appreciate it,
over,
man.
checking. They like, hey, coach sent me over. Coach sent me over. Like
Yeah,
he told me to follow, and I'm rocking with it, man. And that's the type of network I want to build. So keep doing what you're doing, because my guys were excited. I know I had two from Russell County showed up.
Yeah,
They weren't expecting that big of a crowd. It was kind of a shocker to them to see that many players there, but
yeah,
they
man.
felt like they got just as everybody had the same amount of effort given with the limited amount of resources, and
Yeah, man.
that's
We
crazy,
broke it
man.
up. We broke it up into groups, man. So we went like we went offensive line first. Wanted to get the big boys out there. Didn't want to get them too hot.
Mhm.
So
Wanna
we
go
let
get a
them.
good look at them then, boy, they get too hot.
Yeah, man. So we went on, let them win early that morning, bro. So they went out there in that heat, man. And then we followed up with the quarterbacks and receivers and went running backs and linebackers, specialties. So man, we had a good group of kids, man. They really enjoyed it. Jackson State was, man, a big beneficiary of
Yeah,
it. Southern Miss offered a lot of kids. Miami of Ohio offered a bunch of kids. And the thing about what
Mercer
people
was
don't,
out there too, right?
they might have been. Now they had a camp that week, but the thing of what people don't understand is once you get that data on that catapult vest, let's just say there was a school, Kent State, perfect
Mhm,
example. So Kent State couldn't make it, but they had some kids that went to the camp that they were recruiting. Okay. So some of these kids showed up, they did really well. And when they pulled their catapult numbers, they're like, okay, what I seen on film is real. And
mhm,
they offered the kids. It was two kids that I know of. It might have been more, but it's two kids I know got offers because they went off of the data that came off the catapult vest. That
mm,
they was needing that. You know, they was needing to see, is he really this fast? Can he milk? How shifty is he? And that data gave them all that. How fast is he ACell? How fast does he decel? So all that information after it was done, that goes into their database. And if your school is on Catapult, boom, they got your information. And they had the information that these kids needed, man, and I mean that they needed for these kids, and they went on and pulled the trigger.
mm.
So we
I love that type of energy when when you see kids really just get those opportunities, man. Cause that's all we wanna do, just
mhm,
instead of fighting over this one guy. It's 3 more. They may not be as hyped. They may not be there yet, but
mhm,
they can provide you some quality depth and some assets to your roster at the next level. And then also just showing them the process that is required to really get some exposure, because it could save them time. It could save some kids some time. They show
yeah,
up to the camps and they be like, "Man, you ain't gotta worry about this. I play the clarinet,
yeah.
I'll go."
I mean, that happens. That we see that all the time. We see kids. I had one parent call me, man, and dude, Jason, this dude, he cursed me completely out. I mean, he did. He went. I was an MFer, and I was this, and I was that, and I listened to him, man, because as a father, he was hurt, and the reason why he was hurt because maybe he thought his son was at a different level, but and what people don't understand, kids have a bad day. Kids have a bad day. So what we did, we identified kids that already had offers. We put a green band on them, and you had a lot of kids with green bands. You had kids with purple bands, pink bands, but that was to show your classification. And so just because you had a green band didn't mean you made the top 10 because there's a lot of kids that didn't have a green band that went out there and ball and the coaches had green bands in their pockets and they put one on them. So, that kid got a chance to enter the top 10. But all he saw in his mind was all these guys got these green bands on in the top 10 and he remember some of them kids getting the green band before they went out there. So in his mind it's rigged. It's rigged. My son didn't get a chance until you know he actually realized what happened, and then he kind of came down and said, he apologized to us. Man, I'm cool with it, man. Anything I can do to help the kid, I'm going to do it because his son is a really good kid, and I think his son has a potential to be a FCS kid. I really do. But that's a lot of stuff you have to deal with. And like I said, Jason was hitting me up during the week. I was like, man, I don't know, bro. I got this going on. I got that going on. But it was them last 2 weeks. It was tough, But glad I got it done, man. And we got some more schools that hit us up about doing some stuff. Actually, I'm doing one over in Arkansas in July. So yeah, man. So hey, it's all good, man. Appreciate you guys, actually putting that out there and helping us, retweet stuff, man. So I just
Man,
want
Hey,
to say thank you to y'all, man. Appreciate it.
hey,
you're all love. You already know.
it's all love. You didn't need no help, man. 1,300 kids. You didn't need no help. Your
You've
your
been
your,
doing it
your
for a
name,
long time, man.
your name, and that the organization and everything that y'all tied to, man, it does carry some weight. And I appreciate you for even validating it across the socially. A lot of people ask you to do stuff for them and want you to support them, and they already set up status wise, and you're trying to get to that status, and they forget about you. But
Oh yeah,
a
no,
lot of y'all, man, even Jeremy Johnson, I think for 247,
yeah.
he gave me a shout out recently too, and so I appreciate stuff like that because I know the type of work I'm putting in with the lack of resources, and I appreciate the type of work you guys are pushing out with the quality of resources that you all have available. So I'm just trying to get in where I fit in and really maximize it. And like Jason said, man, it's bigger than me. I got people that if I make it, it's their way in. It's their opportunity to be seen. So getting those few kids from my hometown and then some of the kids that saw the retweets, they were retweeting and tagging me in it, saying that they had attended. No, not many clips sent to me yet, but as soon as I
Oh,
get
I
them,
got some.
oh,
I got some coming. Actually, the video guy has some clips coming Wednesday.
bet I'm gonna
Try to do
react
a
to it.
show when. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I got a lot of stuff coming, and I want to answer this. Nah, man, I don't do anything in OU stuff. Southern Elite is my company.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've been around since 2009, doing different things. So man, it's a totally different deal, man. I'm not there to promote OU. I might have had a visor or something on, but I had Southern League stuff on, man. But yeah, but I do. Hey, if I see a dog, I'm sending them now. Don't get me wrong. It is. I did that already, man. I sent Coach B a couple of kids, man. So yeah,
Hmm.
man. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's 100%, you know, different from being a fan. This is my business. I'm retired. This is what I'm gonna do from now on. So, nah, man, don't wear any OU gear unless I got a visor on. I can't remember whether I had a OU visor on or not. I just like visors, period.
Me
So,
too. I'm a visor
yeah,
man. One because
yeah,
I got the hair, but I've
right,
always been
right.
a
So,
visor guy. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. Kimberly K, that's hilarious. She said that did I hear the Thunder post game presser? I did. But I didn't happen to catch that stupid question for whatever reason. I don't know
What
what it
happened?
was. So
Yeah.
it was something stupid. Barry Trammell doing what Barry Trammell does. He's the one, everybody who remembers the meme of Russell Westbrook going, "What?" That's from a Barry Trammell dumbass question. Just so everybody knows. So, but yeah, his birthday present to her yesterday. She loves the consistency. He's consistently been bad for a while, no doubt. No
Mm.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right. Let's see. Neilio was asking you, Coach Smook, where is your hometown?
my hometown. Why would I tell him that?
I don't know. It's Neilio, man. It's your boy. He's just asking.
I don't know Neilio like that. What you mean where my hometown at? Who you be to question me real quick though? Who is you?
Oh shit! Look
You know
at
what
it.
I'm
He's
saying?
getting worried here.
Like, who you be to question me real quick though? That one nah. I'm from Phoenix City, Alabama, man.
Phoenix City.
Yeah, Phoenix City, Alabama.
I
You
was
hear
about to
about
drop it for you since you was bullshitting.
if you hear about Central Phoenix City, the high school, they produce a lot of quality talent
They
out of
do.
Alabama. That's high school I graduated from, but I claim Russell County High School is up the road about 30 minutes out there in the sticks. But um, truth be told, I think Phoenix City benefited from athletes like myself leaving Russell County. And you just
Leaving
didn't have no
Russell County.
resources at Russell County. We was the hood school and they was the prep school with the nice cars and stuff while we were driving box Chevys.
The
Understood.
box Chevy, baby. Man, I ain't seen one of them in a minute, bro. But yeah,
Smook,
box Chevy.
What's
tell
up?
us what you think about these defenses. Who's gonna have the best defense in the SEC?
All right, I'm gonna go solid top threes.
All right.
Top three sound good.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number one, I think coming into this season, the team with the most solidified defense and that's going to return and really be dominant, I'm gonna have to give it to Oklahoma. and not because I'm here. I'm talking about returning, not speculation, not how they trended. Oklahoma was a solid defense the whole season last year. I feel like the offense gonna be something that complements that play calling style what Brent Venables sees. They bring back a lot of depth. Going to find some answers at the linebacker position. The secondary always going to have a chance to be disciplined because they're going to be deep in the rotation at the defensive line. You got guys, you got your offensive line questions. I feel like are going to be answered. You know, a bunch of young guys stepping up from last year that got forced into some spots last year, and in certain times of the season, inconsistencies at quarterback should be handled with the new system and the quarterback. So Oklahoma defense is going to benefit from the offense being better this year and a lot of returning. So I think they're number one. Number two, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with my team. I'm gonna go with Bama. I think when you see turnover and production return like we have, uh you don't see that happen as quickly as it happened at Alabama. You don't see a change in scheme and schematics and language and stuff happen, and it produced the type of results it produced at Alabama. So I like Alabama's defense. And then once again, we in a similar situation as Oklahoma. You have offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb coming back with an explosive system and assets that really fit it.
I was about to say the same thing. I was like, it sounds just like with OU too, with the offense.
Yeah. And I think the only thing I think will stumble with OU is just actually getting it put together the first 6 or 7 weeks. That'll be the thing. And if you have one or two of those games where you against an offense that can capitalize on extra possessions that your offense can't convert, like we did last year, you're going to find yourself in situations where you're losing games by one possession because you didn't capitalize on that extra one that your defense got you, and then you forced them back out there for another 50 plays or whatever. But same thing with Alabama this year. I think we're just on the opposite end of the spectrum, and the defense is going to thrive this year. All the production, literally, you're only missing 3 starters from last year's defense coming back. And one of the starters wasn't even like a production guy. He just was first out there. And then third, I'm gonna have to go with Florida as number 3. They're the team that I believe has the highest upside. As good as Alabama and Oklahoma is, I think Florida might have the best defense by next season's end. You look at their schedule, how everything lines up. A lot of big games at home.
They're loaded, dude, and they're loaded in the trenches too. We've been talking about Oklahoma's D line, which I think is the best one, but I don't think that Florida's is very far behind. Nor do I think that Alabama's is.
Yeah, and I think Florida, Oklahoma has the best defensive line group overall as far as depth, but talent. I think Florida has the most talent in their defensive line room, and it's not a lot of names that you're going to sit there and be like, oh, they was the guy in their class or this class. But you look at it, you turn on the film, 4 stars across. I think everybody on Florida's defensive line except one was a prior 4-star. Right. And then they got 2 guys from the portal. So Florida gonna look good in the front. The secondary always athletic. Always athletic is just about putting, 5 of them, keeping 5 of them healthy out there for the last few years. And then, they're going to find some athletic linebackers. So, and they look good last year into the season. They lost Kelby Collins, off the edge. He's at Alabama now. But they had guys behind him. That's why he left. Didn't want to be splitting that much time with a lot of that depth that they plan to use this year. So that's my top 3: Oklahoma, Bama, and Florida.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this right here before I get out of here, Jason. I got to get out of here in a minute.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about Florida and Oklahoma, how they're two very similar teams. Oklahoma didn't make as much headway as Florida did last year, but if you look at the home stretch, Oklahoma has a lot of games at home. Florida has a lot of games at home. And when you have really good defense and you play at home a lot, you know what that's a recipe for. And I'm gonna be honest with you. We'll play anybody, but I'm glad Florida's over there because I think they're going to be dynamic. And I agree with you wholeheartedly when it comes to what you said about the defensive line. I think OU has the best defensive line as a collective numbers 1 through 7, but I do know that Florida, their 1 through 4 is hell. So you're right on when it comes to that right there, man. But those are 2 teams that I think or mirror each other, with the home games, the adversity, and both of them have the toughest 2 schedules in college football. bar none. You can't. There's nobody else with a tougher schedule than those two. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, man, on my way out, I'm gonna say this. I think you right on about the top three. And like I said, man, Oklahoma's defense, and that's what the show was, basically about.
Yeah.
I think the defense is gonna be top three in the country, man, because I feel like with the offense being as complementary, I feel like they will be. It's going to make that defense grow. It's going to give them more confidence. It's going to allow them to play more players. It's going to allow BV to do some different things because he has time to on the sideline to talk to him to say, "Hey, look, this is what we're going to do." Because when you're 3 and out, you don't have a lot of time to discuss anything with him on the sideline. You don't have a whole lot of time.
Facts.
So I think
Or to rest them.
yeah,
Let
all the
'em
rest
breathe.
of them,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's my take, man. But like I said, I got to get out of here, man. I got a couple appointments I got to get to, man. Jason, I appreciate
Because
you
I
having me
appreciate
on,
you,
bro.
man. Hey, yeah. No
Mm-hmm.
doubt.
All right,
No
big
doubt.
bro. Because take
We'll
care of
talk
yourself,
to
man.
you in a little bit, man. All right, man. Throwing them down, of course. All right. Appreciate it. Marcus Dent. Big cuz Marcus Dent.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate him
Gang,
coming
gang.
in. Hey, Snoop, I told you in there just a minute ago, too.
Who?
Nice touch on the frames, having the houndstooth frames there.
Uh-huh.
Pretty good on the background. I like it. I like
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
it.
Cooking, you know.
Yeah, I
Look,
like it. I like it.
Jay, cooking. If
Hey,
can we take like 3 minutes to have a bro moment?
let's do it.
All right, so check this out. You know what I've been dealing with,
Yeah.
right? On the extra stuff. Not
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
business side, but the extra stuff. And so I popped in, right? And I admired some stuff, right?
What's that?
It was something being said about a certain production of content, right? And I found it interesting that someone's name wasn't mentioned, right? I knew my name wasn't going to be mentioned, but I was wondering why someone's name wasn't mentioned. And I just happened to think back to a recent interaction with this someone and this group, right? And I could see the on-screen presence, and it was pure entertainment, might I say. And and I wanted to know, do you have any information regarding the sudden change of energy and motion there?
I don't know what game, what show are we talking about?
Don't worry about it because then I gotta get too many details. I will talk about it afterwards. Just know I noticed and I popped
So
in
they were
because
so there was so let me just make sure I understand what you're talking about. There was a show,
mhm.
a
You
battle
remember
show maybe?
you remember you were on the show
I
last
was
week
on the
or the
show.
week before last.
Okay.
You was with some people
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So after that,
When I
some
was
things
on
have
with
happened.
them on their show.
Yeah, some things have happened since then, and
Oh.
I was on one of their shows, and they were calling out, people that they rock with, like verbatim, and everybody that was on that panel was called out except for somebody, well, except for you. So I just want to know what
Oh,
happened. Since it's
I
the
didn't know
early morning rise and shine, since we get messy over here sometimes.
that. We're always messy over here. It's okay.
Ah,
It's messy how it is.
it's been tickling my soul, man, because one, um, when you have a passion for this, when you're actually dialed in and you do this like we do it, um, you find space to be petty, bro, and it's lucrative, bro. The song,
I tell you what, that's the one that we've talked about this a lot lately. The more you talk shit, the more it seems to like work.
it works, and people they come to you for the drama, but then they see the quality in what you have, and
Sure.
then your competition or the ones that claim to be in the same space, they don't have that same niche because they don't have the same passion. They're not actually doing the research behind even how to clap back on that end of things. So I enjoy having this network of personalities that we really rock with, that's really pushing in this industry. And it's cool to be a casual. I'm not knocking casual content creators that just doing this for the hell of it. They don't have no real career goals. But I'm just saying, like, it's a certain level of respect that you want to obtain when you're trying to build something. And when you biting off people content, like for real, when you literally just you got people telling you what was said in somebody's live, and then you turn around and you literally saying the same thing, and you're dressing up or you're changing the name on it. That's whack, bro. And you will never get my respect when you do that. And it's happening. It's happening
I've
again.
been hearing about that stuff going on. Actually, there's a show that's been going on out there that had a lot of information that nobody seemed to have about Jaden O'Neal and that stuff except for me.
Come on now.
And, so, you know, they were watching what we were talking about and then putting it out there as if it was their own. You know, I'm not going to bring up who did that either. I don't care about it. In fact, I even take it as I take it as a compliment that you come in to bring like that.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
not only am I going to take it as a compliment, but don't block me from coming in there and supporting you. You know what I'm saying? Let me come and support you live. You gonna come and push out what I gave you live or what you got from me live. Let me come and give you some credit for projecting what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
I didn't even think of doing that. I just left it. I let it be I heard about it later.
Doing that. I like having a presence, man. You got to have a presence, especially now with what I went through. We got, you know, you got your battles on this OU side of the fence. I got mine on that Bama side. That Bama side get real.
Did that to me. There was a national show that did that.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Couple days, and I was like, okay, all right, well,
I remember. But then I like when I have guys like Pate, who is unbiased as they come when it comes to his takes. When Pate is literally retweeting and, you know, echoing things that I'm saying on my show, and everybody knows what time Pate comes on. A lot of times, if you pay attention to when my shows are, I go in the morning for a reason. I know a lot of people are waiting for something to happen so they can say, well, I had this thought. Now I can say it because this news came out. Well, me, I'm the opposite. I see trends happening. I feel strongly about it. This data supports it. This recurrence happened. This is what I'm going to project. And that's what starts separating you as an insider. It's not what has happened or what's going or what you know, just thinking. You got to produce some quality. And people, as much as they hate to admit it, Coach Smooth Network is consistent. The people that we network with for Bama content and Bama information, they're consistent. And they don't like it because I didn't do it the traditional way. And when you start getting jealous like that, and then you got the little man that says he's doing it for a hobby, but he hating too from the bottom, and you like, bro, what you mean? My foot on your neck, and you trying to talk trash to me? That's not safe. Oh, coach. Ooh, oh, snap is up, y'all. I'm about to hold up. Look, if it was yesterday, I probably would have had a little festive drink ready.
Hey, looky there. The coach, Philip Royball. What's up,
What's good, coach? How you
What's
feeling?
up, Smook? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all welcome, coach, man.
I've been listening to you, man. Fight the little man trying to come on through.
Yeah.
You know what though? Just the short time I've been on this, you know, doing the podcast with Jason, I have really come to understand that, you know, it's a cutthroat business. And like you said, even the little guy, and then you got your big dogs. But you know, and it's one of those deals that I find interesting because it feels like, oh yeah, buddy, you're my man, you know, and you turn your head a little bit and you got a knife in your back.
Just a little bit. You don't even get to look all the way away. They don't even.
No.
It's in your shoulder. That's how close to.
Yeah. You just starting to turn and so it's really hard for me to understand why we can't all work together and make it better. Kind of what you're alluding to.
Because jealousy. That's why people are jealous and shit, and you know, the thing is, and you know what? I was talking about this with Nathan Bomber Brown the other day, Big 12 Mafia, College Football Mafia. And it's a fact. We were talking about people are jealous as hell. Content creators are the worst of them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. I think the rising tide raises all boats. It really does. But I'm telling you, man, I've seen more of that shit in the 3 years we've been doing this, which, by the way, we just hit 3 years of having a channel here. So, you know,
congrats, yo.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate all the love out here in the audience too. Jaron O'Neal, good to see you, man. It hits different when you're a fan, but don't mind telling the truth. Look, that's what we do here. That's me and Coach were talking about this the other day. We're going to tell it like it is. We don't care. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're going to tell it like it is, and you know.
Hey,
They can be mad. They can be mad.
What's my favorite thing to say? I don't give a shit. And again, you know, I've come on here with Jason, and thankful that he asked me to be his co-host on here. But you know, I have to tell you, I don't give a shit if you like my opinion or don't like my opinion. It's my opinion. And, you know, kind of like Shotty says on his deal.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got
what he says.
My damn opinion, but everybody's got an ass and they all stink, you know, at the end of the day. So we, you know, we're gonna be truthful on here with how we feel. Now, does that shit mean we're right? Hell no, that doesn't mean we're right. We're just giving you our opinion and opening up discussions. But going back to the point of, you know, let's help each other. Let's be here for each other. But you know what? It doesn't happen very often.
They're scared. Why? You know what it is, Coach? People are scared that it might not be enough out there for me. And you know what? Sometimes, you know what the sad truth is? Everything ain't made for everybody. Just because, and I'm shooting.
Not everybody puts in the kind of work that we put in.
Exactly, Jason. Jason, I got my big gun out. I'm sorry. Just because you call in on a few shows and you have a couple good takes in 8 minutes doesn't mean you should sit behind the camera and try to express your thoughts for an hour and a half. You know, that's hurting your value. I think a lot of people have good points, but that doesn't mean you're an analyst. That doesn't mean you're going to do. You might know stats, right? But that doesn't mean you know what you're talking about when it comes to the game of football and how it transpires on the field. Last year in the playoffs, that was proven. I took stats and I took schematic, and we talked about Georgia.
Needed always, and that
Come
you
on,
get
man.
a lot of context from people. You don't.
Man, these folks out here. But it's like you said, Coach, it's sad, and it is like people are scared to be authentic and be wrong. You right? Like that's one thing I embrace. I love being authentic enough to say I predicted this. It didn't happen. Yeah. This is what I felt. This is why I felt this way. And when you're able to articulate that, and because you've done research, now people can understand. Oh, that's why he was wrong. But I can see why he probably would have thought that.
Sure. And you know that's the thing. I mean, dadgummit, we're not always going to be right. You know what? I don't like the other night we made 3 bold statements on our
I saw those.
And you know what? And hell, one of them talked about it. I talked about Alabama. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you know what? If the year finishes up and Alabama wins the national championship, shit, I have no problem dipping in and scooping that shit out and swallowing. Yeah, I didn't get it right. I mean, that's why they're bold statements. Yeah. I mean,
that's what makes the business, though. That's what makes the industry. That's what creates the conversation. Like, you have people in the chat that do it, but they have the ability to, like we do, man. I don't think people realize the type of confidence you have to come on here when you start off and be in front of 0 people talking about college football. Like that's the scariest part of this journey. Talking to yourself and getting people to believe that you were talking to other people. Like I did that for 6 months when I was gaming. I used to be playing a video game that was hot for everybody. Nobody watched it. The one viewer was me on my phone. And then I got smart. I started logging into my other profiles so I could have 4 or 5 viewers and making sure I hit the reaction on them so that I could create some algorithm. And the first time I got a viewer in there, I already knew what type of energy I was going to bring because I was talking to those 5 phones and them 5 devices I had logged in as if there was people out there. People not dedicated to doing that part, but they want to get on, ask for subscribers, join memberships, go in people group chats telling them about their content and stuff. That's whack, bro. That ain't putting in work. Get out there and put some work in.
There's a couple of people that'll do that too, man. They did it on Trap House Booming. This one clown, he's going into to Trap's comment section and talking about you should subscribe to this channel, blah blah blah. I'm like,
it's one thing. It's one thing when a viewer does it, but it's one thing when you go and do it with your
That's
page. Like that's crazy. It's one thing to even do it from your secondary page to even talk about. I don't talk about my pages in people's comments. I don't even like now coming to y'all page. I don't even like to comment because I like to be in here and listen to the conversation. I don't like to pull the chat away from the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's content creator courtesy, whatever, however you want to label it. But you got some that literally will sit there and watch your show, not like it, not subscribe it, talk trash about you, and then go and do a show and literally talk their timeline and how they did their topics match my show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know, I tell you another thing that's interesting, and I think this is a God-given ability that God blessed me with. But Smook, I can talk to somebody for a couple of minutes.
I love this conversation right here. This is great.
I can kind of tell you, you know, and I'll tell Jason. Somebody will be on the show and we get off, and I say, "Well, I don't like that motherfucker. that motherfucker is wrong somewhere. There's something wrong. I don't know what it is, but it ain't good." And it just, you know, and usually holds up to be pretty true, doesn't it, Jason? Both of our conversations.
He's been on the money. The both times that he's talked about that, about not liking that motherfucker. Yeah. He's been right. All the way right.
And it's not that I don't like him. It's
there's something about him. There's something about him. Yeah. Well, and I even, because in the first time it was about Jake.
Yeah.
And I'd already had that feeling, and then Coach said that shit to me, and I was like, "Ooh, shit!"
Hey, but you remember, like once we found out our interactions, how they were, and I told you how it was with a whole team over there, and it was always. But like you said, Coach, I'm that type of person too. Like I'm gonna know within the first few minutes of you talking. Like if you quiet, I'm really gonna figure you out. Like them, the easy ones, the ones that try to sit back. Oh yeah, I'm gonna figure you out because either you trying too hard or it's going to be there. Like it's going to be natural. Body language is going to tell. But the talkers, them first 3 minutes, that's why I tell people authenticity above all. You will never catch me saying some junk I don't truly believe in, or if I'm not fully 100% sure in it. I promise you, I'm willing to be corrected or educated in that space because I'm that authentic enough that I feel like whatever it needs to be fixed, I'm good enough to do it. Whatever needs to be changed, I'm resilient enough, I'm flexible enough to do it.
I'm with you, Smook. I am. I agree.
And that's what separates a lot of the content that we pushing out, man. I see the growth over here with Jason. I'm racing to try to catch him with the subs. I don't think he knows.
You're catching up fast too.
Yeah, I think it's a game. You better get you a TikTok page if you want to catch up. I'm telling you, you better get active on TikTok.
Man.
I've been working on. I need to get more active on TikTok for sure.
You do, man. I told you I'd help you with that too. I told you.
I'm in, man. I'm in. I'll take whatever help I can get. You already know. Yeah. And I you know, we like to. I need to put out more shorts and do a lot of that kind of stuff for sure. But you know, having this, you know, trying to do as much as we can. What's up, Jackson Johnson? Good to see you, man.
Hall of Fame in the building, man. Hey, I don't know if y'all heard. Quick announcement. I got signed to Hall of Fame. College football, the overall partnership with Mark Rogers. I know y'all have some history with Mark, but new vision, new things looking great over there.
I was just about to bring that up, man. I'm glad that you're doing that because, and I brought it up actually on the show the other day to make sure to check you guys out.
Yeah, man.
You're on there now on Mark Rogers. You took over the Alabama show.
Yeah.
And congrats, man.
It's pretty solid right now, man. Myself, Jackson is the primary host there, but we're doing a push, man, where is they want the energy. They want the energy that y'all like to see me push out for Bama football. They want that energy to come, and it's great to see that from outside, looking in, somebody to look down and say, okay, we can use this. And y'all know I'm about team, man. And Jackson I told him, man, you're going to be the next Eli Goldish type voice for Alabama if you continue to hone that skill set. So appreciate him for pulling up and showing love over here. I told him everywhere I go, I want him to pull up so people can start knowing his name too.
Yeah, he's been hanging around with us a little bit too. He was he goes on Bomber's show quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I saw him over there, and then he's over here too, man. Appreciate you coming in. Hey, man, we love it. Cherry Bear, what's up? Good to see my guy Cherry Bear. Of course, Neilio's in here. Goated. Good to see you, man. Mars Jams. Hey, Jaron. Appreciate you, man. He said most people pick sides, jump on bandwagons, but don't do the research. A lot of content creators will look at a ranking report, never look at a film.
Talk about that.
It's real.
I wish
That's
I
real.
had 112K subscribers on my channel, so everything that I posted got picked up because it was named after the team that I'm covering.
Yeah, listen, and that's look. I give love to everybody that does what they do, and you know what? I'm good when people are doing great. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them on that. So the truth of it is, the people that are hating on us, let them hate. Let them hate.
Yeah.
Because they
At the end of the day, Jason, you're not doing nothing if you don't have somebody hating on your stuff.
That's
Like,
right.
imagine if everybody liked you. You know how boring that would be?
Bro, if you don't have haters, you're not doing a good job. You're not
Imagine if
doing enough to
Exactly.
move the
you like
Exactly.
me. You like me? Why do you like me? I just talk trash about your squad, bro. Like I really just like last season. I told Oklahoma fans, y'all look real 6 and 6s. I didn't expect an Oklahoma fan to come to my chat throughout that whole season, especially after y'all beat us. Oh man, I didn't expect them to come in there and be nice, and I invited it, and they loved it. That's the point. Like you gotta remove your feelings. With my opinion is my opinion. If your channel and content is pure entertainment, what's wrong with being pure entertainment? You don't want to claim to not be a coach, not to be an expert. So what else you supposed to be if you're on YouTube producing content? Is it supposed to be entertaining or informative? That's your primary sources of content you want to get. When you're talking football, I want to either entertainment or I need information. Pure entertainment.
And by the way, I have something for the haters.
Uh-oh. Big gun. That was that 357.
Hey,
man, I'm telling y'all, man, we got a lot of vibe stuff that's coming up though. I don't know if you heard, Coach, but Smook, you're lucky an OU fan didn't come to your house with. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was talking
fans
crazy.
are definitely the most thin-skinned about you messing with their team, talk shit about their team. They will come at you yesterday.
Listen, I was definitely I was being reckless in that video because I was originally supposed to go with RJ Young, but I didn't feel like he was a real Oklahoma fan. So I definitely had to hit up my brother. I said, "Hey, I'm about to post a video." You remember I text you? I said, "I'm about to post a video." It's all out of love. And he seen it, he said, "Why you calling me out?" I said, "You remember? You remember?" And then when Alabama,
No, I
when
was like,
we
what the hell are you
lost,
calling me out for? What the hell did I do?
it wasn't really calling you out. I just was like, if I'm gonna put an Oklahoma face on it, it's gonna be either you or, and I don't even want to mention the other ones because I don't really rock with them no more either. But it had to be you or one of them at the time. So I was like, okay, boom. And then when I posted it, it went viral because I had the little look what I always put on my pictures. Like you heard what I said, and so that was there. And then his little pictures, the clip from his video when he was talking about Oklahoma goes across the screen. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. 6 and 6-ish.
Yeah,
And then they beat us, man.
Wasn't very funny. Yeah, but then so see, that's why I shut it down. So he was talking all that 6 and 6 shit, which is fine and it's understood. But then like that week, and I was on his show that week. Remember, Coach? I went on there with him and we were talking all week about it, and everybody kept asking me what was going to happen. I was like, I don't expect to, and I tell you right now, I didn't expect to win at all.
Did it. He did it. He said it. He came out.
But what's the one thing I said? I said the one chance they got is if Milroe can't complete passes.
Yep.
And if you let him get to running, that it's gonna hurt you. He'll hurt you with his arm then. Hey, you guys know what happened. They shut down the run, and that shut down the pass too.
And that's what I wasn't counting on happening. You know, just reminiscing about how the game transpired. If anybody watched my live simulation that I do on NCAA, Oklahoma was giving off run games fits in the video game. Like people were watching it like it was a real game because it went down to the wire. I beat the CPU on Heisman with the realism adjustments and everything. I beat the CPU 37-34.
Wow.
So, and that was a stroke game, 5 turnovers by Jalen Milroe in that game. Like during the stream when I was doing the live, I was getting frustrated because I was like, dang, bro, I feel like this could happen. It was an early turnover, early fumble.
Yeah.
I still got the live up on my channel, I think. It was an early fumble on the video game. And then the next drive, I tried to throw a deep cross to Ryan Williams. Safety undercut it. Like all of his passes were underthrown. The stadium noise was messing with him. So it was crazy, man. And then to wake up Saturday morning, go through my morning show, and then watch that game unfold like it was in my video game. I was like, man, I might not need to do live simulation. I said that this year before because every game I played like that, it happened like that the year before. So I might not do live sims this year. I might just cut that. Start adding some anxiety to my day. I don't be struggling with the CPU or with the other users.
No, Smook. You need to do them so I get my bold
Predictions get them.
prediction stays right. So you
Hey,
need
mate, it might help
to
with
do
prize
those
picks this year
simulations.
too. It might help with prize picks this year too. So win y'all some money. Y'all watch the live game sims. Come over and watch them Coach Smoot live game sims on Friday nights or Saturday mornings in the fall season. So let's get to it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Rawhide's in here. He says, "Do you sleep?" Well, not much, except for yesterday. Except for yesterday. I'll tell the story. So my cousin a week ago gives me an edible. He said, when you get a headache, you need to try this. So the other night, I got this really cool idea that I think I'm definitely going to be pitching. But I was working on the business plan for it. I got the idea and immediately decided I was going to go to work on it. I even sent Coach a message. Was like, "Ooh, you're gonna love this one."
I got it. Yeah.
And so then I went and did my little second job that I do at nighttime. And I got back and I had a headache and I was tired. Didn't have any ibuprofen in the house. I remembered that my cousin had given me this damn edible.
Oh,
bro, let me tell you something. It wasn't even big. And I ate like this much of a piece of that shit. I didn't wake up until 9:30 last night.
Yo.
That's that good stuff,
bro.
But your body played the fact that you were tired. It's been happening to me the last 2 days. Like yesterday, Wednesday. Yeah. So yesterday was like the first day I slept more than 3 hours at a time. You know, like usually when I lay down, it's an hour and a half.
Like 3 or 4 hours. That's how I am too. That's just the way I am. But I shit you not. We're talking about it was 3 in the morning or so when I ate that thing.
15 hours.
And I slept. Yeah, I slept until 9:30.
Hey, that's not all a bad thing, brother.
Look, you could tell. Look at your face. Your face look full. Your face look a little bit more full today. Look a little bit more alive. You got a little bit more circulation. That's why I tell people, man, your body, when you care about your body, when you running it, like me, I like to work out still. I don't get to the gym, but I'll still work out. And you know, I have my routine of how I'm, medicate and stuff. And sometimes it's just not helping, So when my body shuts down like the other day, Lord Jesus.
I had to kick my cousin's ass though for that.
Hey, my cousin came through with the juice, and that juice put me on. I said that monkey was on my neck, and it choked me out, boy. Cause
that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, man, at least let me know what I'm getting into when you give me something like that, because I didn't know.
But I do agree. I do agree with Smook. You do look full of shit.
little red in my cheeks today and shit. Full of shit. I look full of shit.
Full of shit. Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy though, because Sunday I fell asleep in my clothes after church. I had a meter. I had to come home, do a meeting. I was on Discord. I just kicked my shoes off, and then I was over here on my phone. I was like, let me lay down for a second, finish sending this message. And 3 hours later, I wake up. I'm like, dang, I'm still in my church clothes, and changed out of that. Thought I was gonna get up and do something special. And then every night I stayed on live till 3 this morning.
I wish that was the problem.
Were you with? Hey,
when you get as old as I am, guys, you sleep wherever the hell you are. It don't matter. You just go to sleep.
Hey,
fuck it.
I can't wait till that day. You know what? Being in the military though, you if you ever served, you ever was a grunt, you learn how to sleep
wherever.
My Kevlar, I would take that thing off, and if I was up against a tree or something, anywhere where was a solid surface, my Kevlar, flip that thing around, just let it sit real quick and fuck.
Yeah.
15 minutes felt like 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Power naps is a real thing.
Oh, power naps are great.
Cat nap. I don't know why they call it a cat nap. That's a power nap. That sometimes I prefer a power nap.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I prefer a power
They're
nap.
better.
Especially
They're
like
better.
Sometimes the longer you sleep, the more tired you get.
Yeah. Yep. Corporate, when I was working corporate 9 to 5, you get 30-minute lunch break. Some days I wouldn't even go grab lunch because I knew I could eat at my desk. So I'll get a 5-minute head start to get that full 10 minutes, 10, 15-minute power nap.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, there's studies show that companies, there's a lot of corporates that have a built-in nap time, power nap time, and their production is a lot greater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Look at us. We talking about some of everything. We always do this. We never. Never. I laugh about this. I tell my homegirl, she was asking about, do I do panels and stuff with other people? I was like, yeah. I said, usually, the only people you're gonna see me actually sit over there and talk for more than an hour and a half, is probably my bro Jason and them. I said, when we come together and everybody in that circle, but nobody else does like shows like we do. Like, honestly, in our circle, man, we probably the only ones that really consistent on live content. Everybody else kind of just resources every now and then, and co-host and stuff. But it's hard to get people that's active. It's just a way of things, and then like everybody vision ain't the same, and that's what I respect when people respect the industry or just the overall landscape of everything, and understand we might have differences, but I respect you in your lane. I respect you in your lane. I respect you enough to say, all right, this how you interpreted that. Okay, I didn't mean it that way. I respect what you do. You trying to be a pro at it. I'm just doing it for a hobby. I didn't mean it like that. I just saw something I like. I'm gonna sample it. I could take that. I could take that more than you just ain't nobody copy you. Like on your show talking about you ain't copying and it's clear. Like your whole pitch for joining your membership sounds like join the AAA family.
Dude, they did the AAA fam pitch for the day.
Bro, literally mirrored it.
Nobody does that.
Nobody has a pitch like Coach Smook. I've watched other channels and purposely made sure mine was different.
I rarely even bring it up. Hell, I rarely even bring it up about our membership thing. And
you get what I'm saying? Who does it? Like because it's branding. It's part of branding. The type of the lane I want to be in. So I say just pay respects and say I didn't mean it like that. I like what you do. I did that. I did that with Kangaroo Black. I did that with Steven Smith. I did it with Josh Pate. Like people that I've really shaped my persona, kind of fed off of what they do. And even now as I continue to evolve, I'm learning from people that probably aren't as high up. Jackson and his freaking promo voice. If I could find my promo voice, y'all ain't gonna be able to fuck with me. I'm telling you. Y'all not.
You missed it. The timing was terrible there. The F word came across. That was awesome.
Oh, it did? Listen, I tried to time it up, and guess what? I got the smart tech stuff now, Jason. It might not be timed up right because it got the little So if I say like fudge, like it's supposed to catch anything that's like I can't even. So I gotta figure out how to get the voice in there and stuff. So it is like so. But yeah, man, it's just all about just respecting the industry, and that's why I come over here. I like to act up because Jason know he come over there, and I'm all for the bring your guns when you come to my party, and there won't be any fratricide, but we like to pop off in the air just to see where the bullets land sometimes. So it's fun like that, it's fun like that. I don't encourage nobody to do that in real life, but figuratively speaking, when you being petty in this industry, bring the big guns to the Coach Smook Network. And Jason, you remember last season? I was doing speak up, calling out the other Bama creators, bringing them on my show, actually doing like a conversation, like you said this, fire coach this, and then what about this? I actually had people coming on, and I don't have to hate. I literally brought it to you. Okay. I digress. It's just a day, man. It's a Friday.
Gandhi says those edibles know what you need. This is Talk Your Ish Friday. It's all right. Those edibles know what you need, and we'll give it to you. If you need sleep, you're going to sleep. Or sometimes you need hard introspection. You're going to get that too. I love it.
Introspection.
Yeah, hard introspection.
Hey, as we say Friday today, I got to give a shout out to my grandson today. 10 years old today.
Happy birthday!
Hey, happy birthday,
Michael. Happy birthday, Mike. That's our boy. Hey, you know what he did last year at the Texas Tech camp in the summer last summer? And I was giving Coach shit about this, Smook, because I saw it on Facebook that he had a video of him taking, and a starting safety for Tech had the blocking bag, and Michael knocked his ass back 15 yards, kept pushing, and he couldn't stop him. And I said, man, what you doing taking him over there? Gonna get that mediocrity rub off on him. That was too good.
And we're going back this year.
Oh, he's gonna know about all the shit you said about him, man.
Well, and I wanted to take him to the Notre Dame camp, but son of a bitch, that's a lot of money to go all the way to Notre Dame and to South Bend and then the camp itself is not expensive, but just the travel.
Well, yeah, the trip, and staying there for the time,
yeah,
funny stuff. He says, sounded like Gilbert Arenas in the locker room right there. There, he's talking to you there, Jaron O'Neal.
Hey, another shout out, guys, as we're talking about the Red Raiders.
Happy birthday! Shout out to Kimberly K. real quick. She says happy birthday, but it was her birthday yesterday. And
all right, Kimberly K. Happy birthday! Hey, like I said, another shout out to the Lady Raiders softball team. I hope they put it on Texas's ass tonight.
They could have won. Hey, man, they should have won the first one. They
should have won the first one. Yeah.
Yep. I think Texas is in deep shit. Texas
I
is in
hope
deep
so.
shit. And what is Mike White's excuse going to be this time with Oklahoma not there? What will the excuse be this time?
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Hey, what was that? What was your brand?
Yeah.
Stop, Coach.
I ain't even doing it, man.
Coach, he acting up.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you need to come to T-Town, Bama, Oklahoma week. You need to come to T-Town. Jason's coming in town. We playing it. I'm going to be hosting Jason.
Oh, that'd be good.
I don't care. He got other buddies that do Bama content that live in the state that claim they want to link up. Nah, y'all gonna have to wait till Oklahoma come back another year, or y'all gonna have to catch.
I already told everybody that I'm hanging with Smoot.
Jason is hanging with Coach Smoot, Alabama, Oklahoma week. All right.
I love it.
We're trying to set it up to where we make the content. Coach, you join that little crew, man. We mess around to make it happen. I got a Georgia fan. I got a Georgia content creator that's going to join the range too. And then we might get Shotty to pull up too, depending on who they play the Oklahoma Bama week. Yeah.
Hey, Shotty's boring though.
Shotty be too nice, man. He don't talk. Well, I don't know. Maybe in person, Shotty might get loose.
He'll talk.
Yeah, he gonna get loose. He gonna get loose in person. So
he got mad at us last week because on Tuesday our bold predictions. One of them, mine was Georgia ain't gonna be in the playoff.
I said that. I said it this morning. I think I remember seeing you because you said you did that. You posted it live or you did that on a Vibe?
Live Tuesday. But we've been talking about it a lot. I think all of
us. I've been saying that. I called out their 4 losses today. I called it out today. I think they might lose against Tennessee on the road at Tennessee. Like for real. I really do. Gunnar Stockton gonna have to figure some stuff out.
I don't know if I believe in Tennessee so much, but I do think they're losing the Florida game for sure. I think that they're losing to Texas.
Texas, Bama, and Ole Miss for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Bama, Texas, Ole Miss, and Florida. I said, well, I didn't even say so much as Texas. I think them and Texas, if Texas struggles early, I think Georgia and Texas are finding it out late in the season when they meet up. And you kind of get to see that dynamic of two teams finding their identity. And then you see a future product because I think both teams will be better in the future. I think this season they kind of out of it,
Check it. It didn't take no time.
There he is.
Called him out.
So to say, open up.
Yes, the other night. He said he was going to clap us as soon as he saw us, man. On site. He was on site, he said.
I love it.
I'll be in Shawty, I'm gonna be in Athens, Bama, Georgia week, man. I'm gonna be down there. I got tailgate party committee. I'll be collabing with them. We did a event last year in T-Town. I was able to collab with and get on, and it was fun, man. It was fun. They do the tailgate vibes, cooking good food, gonna have all the drinks you can drink, and boy, man, it was a time. It was a time.
Yo, man, y'all gotta hit that like button.
That's good stuff.
Come on now.
What, they not
52.
hitting the like button? Come
Oh,
on,
that's
man.
crazy.
Hit the damn like button.
47 people in here right now, and only 20 likes.
Oh, come on, guys.
Bro, y'all are killing me here. 26 likes. 26 is what we're looking at. Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on, man.
You can hit the
I don't give a
dislike
shit if
button
you dislike, but exactly. You know what? Here, I got one for you. If you hate Notre Dame, hit the dislike button. Do it right now.
No. If you hate Notre Dame, hit the like button. That's how you get them. If you hate Alabama, hit the like button.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. That'll get you the likes right there.
We ought to have a hell of a lot of likes.
If you hate Nick Saban, hit the like button.
Hey, man, you know what too? And I was gonna tell everybody in the OKC area, the Norman area, you want to go check out Jaden O'Neal, go check out their scrimmaging Owasso tonight. Mustang and Owasso tonight at 7 at Owasso. That's where Jaden O'Neal will be. Man, I've been seeing some of his film, man. I really hope he ends up coming to Oklahoma. I don't know. We should find out something pretty soon. He will also he's been doing just all the film I've been seeing on O'Neal lately, bro. He's
have you heard about y'all motion with KJ Ford out of Duncanville?
A little bit.
Yeah, I've been hearing some late stuff with Venables starting to attract KJ Ford, the edge rusher, 26 class.
Yeah,
man. I think he's a 4. KJ, is he a 4-star or 5-star?
He's a 4. He's a high 4. He's
like a 94 4-star.
Listen, that's big.
That would be good for. You're talking about getting the hybrid at the edge. I don't think Venables has had one yet, like a super athletic one like him.
Nigel Smith probably, but he's he's a solid
at Oklahoma.
He's a redshirt freshman. Yeah, redshirt freshman.
Okay. So I'm just saying, like one that's like I know will pop day one. KJ Ford's popping day one, like Will Anderson did at Bama, like Harold Perkins did at LSU. KJ Ford is the day one guy for any roster. He can go to Georgia, Ohio State, wherever. He should be a day one guy. When Bama going to fire their head coach?
That's so raw.
Shoot, about 7 years after he won his 3rd or 4th natty.
Now, coach has got a different opinion on this. Watch out.
Talk to me.
Raw's getting started up.
No. I just don't think he's the guy. I really don't. I and I know, guys, I know all the, he's won everywhere he's been. He's a great coach. I'm just not sure he's where he needs to be. I don't think he's going to get it done. I really don't.
I would have felt like that if he had to go through another 2 years without Ryan Grubb.
Sure.
That is a difference maker for Kalen DeBoer's career. Everybody talks about his success at every stop. Look at what he's had at every stop. That's what, and that's why I have my take on how this season is going to look, because of literally, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're going to add to, let it enhance, not take away. Right. So adding to last year was bringing Coach Cap in after losing Huff. It broke apart. You lose Scott Huff, your offensive line, but trying to keep it from doing too much, you just elevated Nick Sheridan, who was in a role as far as dealing with you in his capacity. He hadn't had to deal with you at no point in time during his tenure, 5-6 years at this point with you. So that was a lot of bad
move. I thought it was a bad move to go with Sheridan.
You didn't have the assets available either. You didn't have the quarterback for the system, the way he learned the system, how he helped design the system a lot. But you bring Ryan Grubb back. Now you put Kalen DeBoer back in a seat where he's kind of back to operating like he is. And those characteristics that showed up at the previous stops should be able to translate. But I wouldn't be surprised if something went left and, it's 1 or 2 games every year that kind of put the pressure on him to where he outs himself, takes another opportunity somewhere because of the pressures. I could see it. Another loss to Tennessee or another loss to or a loss to Auburn, that's
Yeah.
really gonna get to
Well, and you know this better than anybody, Smook, but there's a lot of off the field pressures
Mm-hmm.
at Alabama, and that's one area he hadn't had to traverse before.
Yeah.
Is those kinds of pressures. Wherever he's gone, he's created great success, but he didn't have those Alabama pressures
Yeah.
off field that he has, and that's where I think some of that flows over into games
Yeah.
and losses.
You saw
And,
it. You
and
saw it in points last year, though. You saw it in points last year because I truly believe, and everybody knows how heavy of a Miro supporter I was, right?
right,
But
yes,
I truly believe Vanderbilt game. If you give Ty Simpson an opportunity, even if he goes out there, he's still stinking it up. He's not changing anything. You give Miro an opportunity to kind of reset himself and seize the moment. And
yeah,
same thing in the Oklahoma game. You didn't do a Vanderbilt game because he had done it previously at other stops. He did it at Fresno State.
yeah.
Of
You're right.
a senior quarterback, he set him for a freshman that he was able to evaluate and bring in through recruitment. And that freshman got in, I want to say the 4th game of the season. And that's who ended up carrying over. And the second year, the type of success that offense saw, it was the guy that they ended up recruiting and bringing in. So
Right.
I don't know. I know for a fact the pressures outside had something to do with that decision.
With
The belief
Milroe,
in Jalen Milroe and
I
all of it.
agree with you. I agree with you.
I
'Cause I
said
know-
this last year, and people called me crazy.
I know, and I thought for
you're not
sure.
crazy.
Hey man, just the same conversation we had about the Oklahoma game. I was thinking that all year. I was like, why is he playing quarterback there? I don't. And listen, I think Jalen Milroe's a hell of a quarterback. I think that if he can get he's going to have to learn to throw that 12 to 25-yard ball with accuracy. He's got to be better on that. But he's a great athlete, though. And so that scheme fit didn't really seem. I don't understand why they kept the scheme that they've always been with. You got to let him go do his thing.
Yeah. But even in that, like, they tried to create variations, and you got to think they didn't have a year to prepare to create variations of their scheme to fit his skill set, right? So do you and we're all experiencing the game. If I have a Jalen Miro skill set at quarterback, I'm not moving him to running back. I don't care what you say because I got enough of those. I'm not going to just put him in a rotation and call 5 or 6 plays to give him a chance to create explosive plays for us when he can have the ball in his hands 50 plus times a game with an arm. It may not be the most accurate, it may not be the best, but he's competing with the guys in the room. It's not like they're just head and shoulders above water. Like the arm, the ball itself isn't the problem. It's where he's throwing the ball at certain times. That's the problem. We can work through that in real games because if he makes the wrong decision, he has the athleticism to fix it. That's why he was the starter. Ty Simpson couldn't do the quarterback things at a consistent rate. That's why he never replaced him. So when people ask that question, that's why Milroe was the guy. But then I do truly believe, like I said last year, you got to think there are people that are behind Milroe because Lank was Alabama when Coach Saban retired. That's all Alabama was Lank. That's all you saw. So Milroe was Alabama, the face of Alabama. The moment adversity came and it didn't look like what they were used to, they wanted to jump ship on him, but he still remained. You're talking about a quarterback that literally they didn't make playoffs because of technicality. The number 11th ranked team in a 12-team playoff didn't make the playoffs.
Right. So let me ask this question real quick, guys.
Ask this one right here because I think this is along the lines of what you were talking about, though. But Raw just asked this one: what is a successful season for Bama?
In my opinion, is literally 10-2 playoffs.
Yeah.
9-3 playoffs. You don't have to win the conference anymore. I think for the fans, it's all of that extra. But for a coaching to maintain his job and to be considered a success in this era of college, you have to make the playoffs at Alabama. Yeah. And your wins, your losses can't be at home, and it can't be at home against unranked opponents. And if you're going to lose to an unranked opponent on the road, it better be the likes of a Oklahoma with a top 10 defense, right? It better be to the likes of a I can't even say Vanderbilt. That was unexcusable how we lost that game.
40
That was
years that you haven't had that happen. You
but
can't.
not even the just the play on the field.
Right.
7 missed tackles in the first quarter in the backfield behind the line of scrimmage. In the first quarter. That's not coaching. That's what I forget. That was the narrative of that game. We need to fire the coaches. No. Coaches can't make tackles for plays, but it's those things
you have
that you got to factor in when you talk about a successful season. So numbers wise, 9-3, 10-2 floor, and just a playoff berth at this point. That's what they want. Saban missed the
I don't think
playoffs.
you can afford to go 9-3 again, though. If you're him, though, I think that he needs to win. My opinion is 10 games is probably to get people happy, right? To get people happy, and I don't know that you get in at 9-3 anyway. I've been saying the same thing about Oklahoma. Even though Oklahoma has a tougher schedule, I still think 9-3 may not get you there. So, you know, I think if
you'll be back on that just like they were last year, you know.
I think Kalen DeBoer's seat gets a little warm, bro. I think Kalen DeBoer's seat gets a little warm if he doesn't.
No playoff berth. You're going to hear questions. That you deserve it. You deserve questions at this point. You had a talented roster last year, and then this year you get your roster. Really, for real, man. Everybody on that roster is a Kalen DeBoer target.
So, Smook, let me ask this question because I haven't kept up with it good enough, but I know that oh God, my mind just went blank. But that's what happens when you get old too. But Nick Saban's office was right down the hall. Is he still there, or is he completely gone?
He's still there.
What's that now?
He's
Nick
still
Saban.
there. Is he still
Nick Saban's office
in the hall? Yeah,
I think last time I checked, I think he retired and he has an office there, but he's never really there, you know.
Okay.
So,
but you know, and again, and let me say this though, I don't give a shit if he's not there. He's got an office there, and if you know, maybe Kalen's good with all that, but there's still a
do it your way though. You have to be able to do it your way, Coach. You're right.
There's still a sense there.
Got to.
And it just doesn't, you know, thank you, Nick, for everything you did for Alabama, but get the fuck out of here. You retired, move on. So anyway.
But I don't know if anybody paid attention last year, like even their on stage presence was awkward because it wasn't like Kalen DeBoer was eager to be, Nick Saban.
He doesn't do all that shit.
He does it. And Coach Saban loves that about him. Coach Saban talks more to Kane Womack than Kalen DeBoer. Reason being, the 4-2-5 scheme that Kane Womack is running, his dad developed it based off of the 3-4 look that Coach Saban, the 3-4 nickel that Coach Saban was a very intricate part. Like the 4-2-5 is just a variation nickel, another nickel formation, and you run most of your scheme is read and react on the back end, and you're trying to create havoc up front with your stunts and your twists. That's the whole basis of why you bring out the 4-2-5, the way you align and everything. A lot of underneath alignment, inside alignment, trying to force things outside to the perimeter. That's why you see the 4-2-5 being ran up by a lot of schools. But Kane Womack is the one talking to Coach Saban more so than Kalen DeBoer, and that's because you have a great defensive mind available, and you had a lot of his players that he evaluated from more than likely age 15 to the time they got to Alabama. Tendencies and all of this. That's where you saw. But I guarantee you, this year, Coach Saban's not going to be something. He's going to be there for maybe a motivational speech one week. But talking about, maybe he'll pull up on the sideline to check in, you know, show his face like you would as an old coach. But this man got a whole nother career. He is not at Alabama.
I was going to say he's busy anyway. It's not like they're going to be around him. And Bama's going to be on TV, by the way. They're going to be on big games. They've got week 4 is in Athens. They're going to be there. He's going to be around.
Crazy. The ghost is there, boys, and in full effect.
And I get what you're talking about. That's a good question, and I think it's a fair question to ask. Is like, what's too much though? What's too much? Because until he's cleared out of the building, then and I'm not talking about you. I'm saying, are some Alabama fans ever going to allow him Kalen DeBoer to be successful enough? Or are they really going to throw everything behind KD? Because I don't know that they do. I think it's a tough thing. I think it's a tough thing.
Hey, following the man, guys, is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's hard to follow that man. And
Mhm.
that ghost, that even though it's just even though it's just an open office that he's never there, the ghost is still there. What Alabama should do is put something else in that damn office. And you know what, Coach? We appreciate it. We loved you, man. But it's time for everybody to move on.
Listen, when Kalen DeBoer redesigned the whole office, upgraded the look, you know, Coach Saban had that old classical, stern, old-fashioned. It was nice for that time. You look at it now, it's updated. Kalen DeBoer he's a millennial type feel, you know. He got the feels and it's inviting. You see the culture traits. I think the ghost is there. It's going to always be there. Just like Bear Bryant's ghost was all there. I mean, the statues are in the front when you're walking up to the stadium. You see all these great coaches with, you know, 3 and 4 years of national championships behind their name, two here, and then you get to Bear Bryant. You see all the 6 behind him, or the 5 behind him, or was it 6? It was 5 or 6. It was 6 total at Bama. 6 total at Bama. Then you go to Coach Saban, and you see his, and you're like, they're recent. This 2009, 2011, 2012, 2017. Like, come on, man. Like 2020, and you're like, dang, I gotta follow this up. So you finally let it play out. 2015, I think, was another year I missed with Jake Coker and them boys. But I look at it, man, and I don't think Kalen DeBoer's personality, just my personal interactions, team reporting over the year, past year and a half being there, I don't think he buys into all of that pressure, man. He's just for real, man. Like, it's funny because people talk about Kalen DeBoer and they're like, he's a guy. If you saw him out in public, you wouldn't know that he was the head coach of Alabama. He looks like just another regular, like one of my callers said, he just looks like another regular white dude, you know, out at Publix. You know, his wife is the star of the show. You know, she's the star of the family. You know, you notice her when she walks around, but him, he's just another dude. And the pressures, I think what might have affected him a little bit last year, like you said, the off the scene stuff, but then also that, you know, just the new schedule and the demand being the Bama head coach. You're talking about every day during the season, after practice, before practice. You're from 7 a.m. until you lay your head down at 10:30, 11. You locked in doing Bama stuff with a driver. So, but I want to give that last answer to the Keelan Russell thing.
Yeah. Please, I wanted to bring that up too, because I think he may be a big part of them being successful this year.
I don't know if y'all heard, but his sister passed away. They haven't put out the official reports of what happened, but condolences. We sent our prayers up, man. I was gonna post it, but I don't even think it's right for me to post it. But people are asking for me to post a prayer that we did on the show live that morning. But I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna send it to the family first and see if they cool with it. But yeah,
send them our love too, man. And
for sure.
Yeah.
But turning the page on that, man, not turning the page, but kind of using that to turn the page. I had a take yesterday. I think Keelan Russell is about to be in rare form coming back from this incident. We've seen players tap into things, you know, mentally because of tragedy or because of you know, taking advantage of rare opportunities, right? And Keelan Russell is already a different type of athlete. I think knowing what his sister wanted his success to be look like coming to Alabama, that's why she was enrolled at Alabama. They had huge aspirations to really enjoy this experience here at the University of Alabama together. And losing her is either going to affect him one or two ways. You know, sadly, on one end, it could pull him away from it and get him distracted, or two, what I believe to be the latter is I think this is going to ignite a fire in him to really defy some odds like he's already done. Going from a 3-star quarterback to a 5-star number 2 rated quarterback in the class, signing to Alabama, top quarterback, Elite 11. early enrollee. You're in the runnings to be the starting quarterback at Alabama, and now this. So it's two dynamics that could happen. And for the latter, I think it's scary for Ty Simpson and great for Alabama football because this young man at top level at the high school level in the highest classification of football in Texas dominated for 3 years.
Yeah. No, listen, in year 2 has always been Kalen DeBoer's best time everywhere he's been. But here's the thing I would say, add to that what you were talking about with Keelan. I think that the people are automatically, and I said this before, I've said this a few times throughout the last few weeks, but all this talk about when they asked Ryan Grubb about who's the starter, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, if we had to play a game today, they didn't have to fucking play a game today. Ty Simpson should be ahead of him for having a year in the system, right? But you told me, and I've heard it from a number of places, there wasn't any real separation going on out there at those practices to where you could say, okay, well, he's clearly a better player than Keelan is coming in. And I'm going to remind everybody that Keelan Russell won. There's one player in Texas high school football history with more wins than Keelan Russell as a starting quarterback. One. His name is Kyler Murray.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. So
and that's what I'm saying. Like
this kid is different. And so if it's not, let me just finish what I'm saying. I want to throw it back to you. This is the reason I'm saying I don't want to hear about if there was games today, because you know what? That was 6 months from games, pretty much, whenever they're talking like that. Here we are. We're going to, into August, it may not quite be the same. I don't think that there's any way, and maybe Tyson ends up starting off the season there or whatever. It would not surprise me if 3 or 4 games in, Keelan's getting a lot of reps, and next thing you know, he's starting because he's just too good. And if Ty gets hurt, it's over. He'll never get the job back.
It's over. And I think he knows that. But I think also Ty understands that if that's the case, if I lose the job because I get hurt, that's one thing, right? But if I lose the job just because I'm being outperformed, then that's another thing. I think Bama fans, the Ty supporters and the Bama fan base are more hurt about him being in a real quarterback competition than he is. I think he's inviting it. I think he loves the fact that he's pushing Keelan to be the best. Ty Simpson is going to be a great offensive-minded coach one day. I don't know what his football career is going to be, but it has the potential to be great. But I think Ty is going to be one of the greatest offensive minds to touch the game, touch the sidelines for the game of college football. I can't wait to see it unfold, man. I can't wait to see it unfold. But to answer your question about how Keelan's looking, I think that situation with his sister passing is going to ignite him. He's already been right there. If they put out a depth chart at the end of spring, he was going to be QB2. Austin Mack had a horrible show in the last week and a half, 2 weeks of spring. After he had a great day playing with the ones, came back and followed up with just a week long of different mistakes. So like I've been telling people when, they was talking about even Austin Mack being in the runnings, I said, no, it's not, man. One day when Ty Simpson throws a pick and has a couple bad plays back to back, and Austin Mack gets to come in and he gets 3 or 4 good passes, big passes, throws 2 touchdowns, has a good scrimmage that weekend. Now he's in the starters, the running be a starter. That's why he didn't come out and didn't take first team reps the next week. Coaches know what to do to get guys back in order. So I like talking it from the standpoint. But I appreciate y'all for having me on, Jason. I was supposed to come over here and do an hour so I could be on time to get ready to get off.
But hey, man, I appreciate you coming in, dog, for real.
Absolutely.
And having this conversation. But I'll just be honest, I'm glad that they brought that up, But and the one last thing I'll say is, and shout out to Rawhide. He says, don't mean to ask too many questions, but is just making the playoffs in a 12 to 16 team field the same as with 4? So is that a good thing? No, it's not. So I think if you get to the playoff, that's one thing. But in view of the fact of the roster that you have and stuff, yeah, of course it's going to crank it up. But a good season versus a great season is, you asked what's a good season. I think a good season is getting to the playoff no matter what. I think that's good for anybody. A great season is, deep in the playoff / winning the natty, right?
Now, I even contest to that. I'll say a good season now is a bowl game. A great season is the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? Like a good season for Florida last year.
Bowl
Come on,
games don't
man.
mean shit anymore, bro. They just
But
don't
I'm
mean
saying for Florida, that's an opportunity. You're going to have your opt-outs, but you're talking about recruiting, bro. We just made a bowl game with this squad. Florida benefited from having that extra game last year. So your bowl games is okay. We make the mark, especially if you weren't expected to do it. You make a bowl game, you good. Playoffs is a good season. I think playoffs is good. No conference championship. You might have been that 9-3, that 10-2 team. That's going to get you in the playoffs. So to me, that's overall good. And then a great season, like I said, that semifinal appearance, that Final Four, that's really going to separate you because originally the four-team playoff was the best four teams in the country. So if you're making it to the Final Four every year, that's a great season. You're amongst the top.
Yeah. Listen, I'm with you, man. I don't know. I feel the way I feel about it, but I get what Rawhide's getting at, I think, and he's just saying he's blown his mind here because of it being Alabama. And I think as much as anybody that when you're Bama, your expectations are higher, right? Especially from the fan base. We know that. Same with Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's people that are not going to be okay if Oklahoma wins 8 or 9 games, even with the toughest schedule in the country. They're not going to be okay with it. It's not going to ever be enough.
But the bottom line is it's a simple answer. You get in the playoffs.
You got a shot.
This year, just getting in because the landscape of college football and playoffs have changed. And so right now for Kalen DeBoer, just getting in is a good year. Okay.
Just get in.
And then we can start talking about next year and the year after. But right now it's just get in. If he doesn't get in, he's got a really hot seat.
I think so too. I think anything less than 10 wins is probably going to warm up that seat a little bit myself.
Quick question for y'all. Do y'all think if Alabama would have came in this year and went 7-5 regular season, and do you think it would be a better path for him, like as far as the seat not getting as hot as quick? Because then you have so much room for growth. You come back and you do what you were supposed to do last year, 9-10 wins, make the playoffs. Like, is it better? Because I have some people that really thought he wasn't going to win 7 games, 8 games in his first year.
That's and for Alabama football, that's completely unacceptable.
Oh no, yeah.
One and done with 6 wins.
my answer, Smook, would be no. I don't think it'd be any better. Hell, they might have fired him.
I love it.
At the end of the season.
They might have. Yeah. I think if he did, hell, I don't know that had he lost that game to LSU, and I mean, it's at LSU, but they housed him. But had he lost that game and then he turns around and loses to OU the next
Oklahoma, that would have been ugly.
It would have been bad.
With the Vanderbilt already in your back pocket.
Yep.
You know what's crazy? Of all the losses last season,
another rival of yours.
You know what's crazy? Your diehard Bama fans forget that we lost to Tennessee last year because of that Vanderbilt loss. That's how much of a pride. So people got to understand. It's different over here.
All right. So here's how I'm going to end this part of the conversation, because I'm just going to put it out there. I said this the other day. I said this last week. Now, Coach we're not on the same page here. He's brought up what he's brought up, but I'm going to go ahead and say what I said. I think that I said already, I think Georgia's going to miss the playoff this year. I think that the best teams and right now, to me, the best teams that are going to go up for the playoff, it's going to be Bama, LSU, Oklahoma, and Texas are all fighting for it. And then I think that Florida could be up there. I think that their schedule's tough, and I think that the way it sets up, like their buys come at weird times. They've got a lot of tough back-to-back games. I'm not sure that I believe they're going to come through all of that, and I'm not sure where Lagway's injury is. So it's touch and go with that. But I think Florida's right there too. I'm not a believer in South Carolina. I'm definitely not a believer in Tennessee. I don't think, but I think that there's 5 teams right there that I believe can do it. I don't know about Ole Miss. I think that they're going to be okay with their quarterback. I like their quarterback a lot. But defensively, they lost everything. So we'll see.
OU schedule. I think OU has a solid schedule.
It's hard. This last 7 is a bitch, right?
I ain't gonna say it's hard. You get Michigan at home, you get Auburn at home, you get Ole Miss at home,
You got to
you get
start 5-0 for
you
sure.
get LSU at home at the end of the season. Like you get a lot of the big ones at home. You got a neutral site with Texas. You go to South Carolina. I think y'all gonna get drugged in South Carolina. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what you don't see at South Carolina. That defense last year returning all the production they bringing back. Lenore Sellers, he got that big body receiver out there on the perimeter. And he's a tough guy. You're gonna have to tackle him. You're gonna have to be able to. He's not gonna be like Miro and be antsy when he's taking off running. He's a tough guy to bring
Come on,
down.
bro. Don't tell me you believe in South Carolina.
I do. I truly do.
Lord
and
have mercy.
they recruiting class. They got 3 cats in this 25 class that I think might show up and start. And the slot receiver they got returning this year too. Gonna be a mismatch problem for some defenses. Again, y'all come to us. I just think we getting y'all at a good time. Y'all getting us at a good time too, coming off a bye week. Solid schedule though, honestly. But LSU at LSU, I mean, y'all get to host LSU at the end of the season. That's why I said earlier today. I think you and LSU will be at a need that 9th win to be considered the playoffs type game.
Yeah.
And we might see one of those 4 OT type games again, that we got to see from, was that LSU? No, that was Arkansas LSU a few years ago.
That was A&M LSU, wasn't it?
Arkansas gave somebody 4 overtimes recently.
Yeah. Well, I know that they had the longest game ever was the LSU A&M one was the one I was thinking of. It may have been more overtimes than that.
There's one reason that I have one reason not to believe in South Carolina.
Beamer?
Shane Beamer.
Why do y'all keep giving Shane so much hell, man?
Come on, he ain't worth a shit.
I think Shane has set himself up to not fail anymore. Like he's been failing enough. I think the administration around him at South Carolina and Columbia, I think they've got him straight. He's got an offensive coordinator that he's going to do his thing. He's got a defensive-minded coach working with him on that defense that's not going to back down. Shane Beamer's getting forced into being a manager and starting to develop a personality. That's what I think is happening. Y'all could talk. Hey, when that. Oh, all right, Jason. Remember this. I'm clipping right now. I'm clipping it. Remember this.
Clip it. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you.
I want to come back to this.
Is trash.
I want to come back to this show. I want to come to Rise and Shine. And I want to get in the same setup. I want to pull up the screenshot.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have the voiceover is going to say 6 months later. Right? And I want to see your face.
Listen.
After that game.
6 months later, we have the same result. A suck-ass Shane Beamer.
Look, I think that this is a good question. Neilio's asking, do I not like the Gamecocks just for the Beamer thing? Or are you not a fan of their talent and schemes? Look, I think that they have some talent, and I think that you're going to have talent when you are in the SEC. I think that he actually recruits okay. I think he coaches like shit.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they've taken that.
He coaches like shit.
I feel like they've taken that from him, though, with the offensive coordinator, with the defensive coordinator. That's why their defense was so good last year.
Come on.
A lot of those big-time decisions.
That defense ain't even that, and that defense isn't back either. That's the other thing. Everybody's acting like that's the same damn defense they got from last year that had all them studs on the D-line. It isn't.
Jason, they played 14 of those guys on that D-line, or 12 of them. They played 12 of them.
Come on,
with significant stats. They only lost 4 of them. Somebody's going to step up that played as many snaps. And they were quality guys. That's why they were so good. That's why the defense was so good. That was good up front.
Thank you, Cherokee. Beamer has a great personality, especially when he's getting drugged by Illinois and acting like
you guys keep trying to use transitive property. That's like me saying Oklahoma's going to be great.
I'm talking about South Carolina. I'm talking about South Carolina.
Like Oklahoma's going to be great because they beat Alabama in an uncharacteristic win last year. Nah, bro.
He's talking about why you don't believe in Beamer is because of that shit. Stuff like that. He got beat by Illinois.
Every dog has his day. Saban got beat by who? Like, if that's the case, what are we talking about?
They all get beat. They all get beat.
Right.
I'm just talking about the whole body of work.
It's always
of Shane Beamer,
bro. It's always something with him.
I think that's what it is with it though. If it was just if I truly felt like Shane Beaman was making those play calls last year, I probably wouldn't be talking about South Carolina like I am. I don't think he has as much control of that team, and that in turn is making him a better coach. You're relinquishing control to the offense, to your offensive coordinator, letting those offensive analysts and staff do their thing. Now you got another head behind you on defense that understands what you're trying to do, but is able to evolve it into. Last year looked good for South Carolina. If that depth continues to progress like they did last year, I see it starting to evolve for him, and that makes him look like a better coach in a sense, because he's a Coach Saban.
In 5 months, we're going to know the answer to this.
Oh yeah, that's the good thing about.
Well, make sure you clipped your receipt here. Make sure you clipped.
I did. Yeah. You better know it. You better know it. 6 and 6.
Because I'm gonna say that same shit that everybody loves about him when they win, the bullshit, the crazy, the weird little damn press conferences and breaking your toe because you kicked a fucking water machine or whatever the fuck. All that stuff is cute when you win. It's stupid when you lose.
Oh man.
And people get sick of it when you lose too. And here's the thing: when they have expectations, they haven't done shit. Take 2 years ago, after they had come off of beating Clemson and Tennessee that year with Spencer Rattler, then what do? They turn around and they go win, 6 games, 5 games.
Well, you lose your number 1 receiver that year.
I'm aware.
They
lost a lot.
Hey, I don't want to hear that shit about
facts when you say the shit, though. Don't just act like they just blew it.
But losing, just because every damn football team in the country.
I'm changing my takes on Oklahoma and Notre Dame right now.
Let's talk about losing players. Notre Dame. How many did we lose this damn year that were big time starters, and we're still in it at the end? So I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, they lost their receiver, they lost their cheerleader. Who gives a shit? You got to put the team on the damn field.
Well, that's the thing. If he's recruiting as well as he is,
so what year are we in at South Carolina under Shane Beamer? What year are we in?
This is 5th and 6th year, isn't it?
5th year, and you're trying to tell Kirby just got over the hump, y'all. Kirby been at Georgia since 16. He just got over the hump 3 years ago.
Wait. Kirby was getting into the playoff, though, before that.
I'm saying he just got over the hump. He had the most talented roster in America.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
Second year, he was the head coach at Georgia.
Hey, what you just talking about? Don't be compared.
What are you talking about?
Year 2. Wait a minute.
Snoop, were you just not talking about don't be comparative that way?
He should have been in the playoffs year 1 with that roster he had. He didn't have to deal with portal. He didn't have to deal with none of that.
You just said don't be comparative in that sense.
This ain't transitive property. I'm not doing team comparison. I'm talking about assets available.
You're comparing coaches.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about what coaches had available.
All right. Now.
Okay, so he's.
So you're not gonna catch me. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm gonna be able to jump out this loop. You're not gonna catch me.
so he's been.
You got Coach Brown too, by the way.
2021, 7-6. They went to the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Stinking ass mayonnaise, that nasty.
2022, 8-5. 2023, 5-7. 2024, 9-4. Guys, and it doesn't even show consistency.
I mean, you're going into year 5, year 6. This is the second time you're seeing this cycle. First year we kind of down. I mean, you called out 2 winning seasons there out of well, if I'm being technical, it's 3 out of 5. He got 3 out of 5 winning seasons, if I remember the records correct. I mean, and this is a mid-major, Power 5 in the Power 5 program, mid-tier level in the conference. South Carolina's not out recruiting anybody in the SEC. Who they're going to the fact that they're able to lock in 4 of their top 100 guys in the state to South Carolina this recruiting class, I think they own this something good, man. And like I said, it's not a direct effect of Shane Beaman having control. I think him relinquishing control, him being in his managerial status, is going to give him the resume of being a good coach. Sometimes doing less, passing off responsibilities is what makes you a great coach. I could hire somebody to do this great thing.
I agree with you 100% with that statement. Doing less. Because when you take the shit out of the equation, then you're going to do better. And him doing less, you're correct, is doing better.
So
But it's
so
not. But it's not because of him.
is it not because of him? Even if he makes the decision to do less,
I think and you said it earlier. His administration has helped him
hey,
to get to this point, and they're the ones telling him, "You better hire some damn coaches that can coach better than you because you
we got
suck."
we got choices in life, man. We got choices in life. Doesn't that make him smart to be like, hey, they might be right. I might do suck at coaching. Let me go get this cool offensive coordinator, this dude that can help me with my defense.
It may not be necessarily smart. It may be, you know what? If I don't want to lose my damn job, I better
Right.
go do this. So I don't know that it's smart.
All right, y'all. I gotta get out here and cut grass. Y'all know I can't cut grass for real in real life, but I gotta go cut grass. I love y'all, man.
And we
Love
love
you,
you,
Smooth.
brother. Thanks for
Hey,
coming
roll
in, brother.
tide, much love. Boomers soon as all that good stuff. Roll boomers. That's what I'm gonna start saying. Roll
Go
boomers.
Boomers
That's
and
how we
drop
do
them
it.
horns, bro. Drop
Yes,
them
sir.
horns.
Horns
Go
down.
Irish.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Have a
See
good
you,
one.
brother.
Y'all too, man.
Okay, so they're saying there was lag on our video stuff. Hold on real quick. Let me fix this. Oh, man, he just dropped it off there.
It's because we were talking too damn fast.
For real.
Damn Beamer. That's
Shane Beamer.
I can't wait to get see that snippet in 6 months.
Oh yeah, no, we'll pull it back up. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll clip the damn thing today and make sure
There
that
you
it's
go.
up there so that way it can be out there.
Yep.
It can be out there.
100.
Is it still delaying on you guys? Does it feel like? Let's see. Let me see where we're at over here.
How many likes we got, Jace?
That's a good question. Right now we have 40 people in here with 37 likes.
Come on, guys.
It's caught up. So
Hey, let's make this a goal. Let's see if we can hit 100% before we get off of here. 100%. Wouldn't that be incredible?
this is a good question being asked. Let's see. Question coming from Jaron O'Neill. Which coach in the SEC loses his job in December? Well, I'll put it to you this way. First off, I don't think it's going to be Brent Venables. I don't think he's in as much trouble. We were talking about this earlier in the show. And I think they're going to win enough games that it wouldn't matter anyway. But I think it would take a lot more than just winning, than being less than 8 wins. I believe that it takes more than that. But if I was to say, I don't know. I think that Hugh Freeze is probably in the most trouble. I think it's probably Hugh Freeze that's in the most trouble. And I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're making a playoff. And I think that he kind of signaled that when you go and get. And I think that he hitched his wagon to the wrong star, just like I think he did it last year too. When he didn't go to the portal because he thought that it was going to be okay with Peyton Thorne at Auburn, it was a huge mistake. They had a good running back. They had one of the best receivers in the country in Cam Coleman. They had a good offensive line. And they lost to Vanderbilt too. To me, I don't think, and I mean, that's 2 years in a row that he lost to Diego Pavia.
Well,
Once was at New Mexico State. I think his leash is short. But
yeah,
to me, I believe it's probably Hugh Freeze.
Well, and I'm going to agree, Jason. I think Hugh Freeze, you know, they since he took over, they're like 11 and he's 11 and something, 11.
Yeah, and he's
14.
recruiting well, but you can't blame all that on Brian Harsin when he was only there 2 years.
Right. Well, and I tell you what, to me, Hugh Freeze at Auburn, and then I jump to, and again, I know people disagree with me, and that's okay. Kalen DeBoer at Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know that they would fire him immediately, but I think he could definitely get his seat pretty fucking hot. The other one, and people are, and Truoki just brought up Brian Kelly. Possibly. I think that Brian Kelly, that people are expecting pretty much everything right now.
I could buy that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I would agree. I'd put Kelly at number 2 and then Caleb at number 3. And then I think you got to look at, you still got to look, even though I think they're going to be better, you got to look at Billy Napier.
Napier, yeah. Nilo just brought it up. 7 or 5 or worse, he's got to be sent packing. They don't know him as much for sure. He'll be definitely under, it'll be closer to like 15, 17 million maybe that they owe him.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's going to have second year with this quarterback if they don't figure something out. Now, what I think you have to look at is that schedule is still brutal. I think it would depend on what it looks like. I think it depends on what it looks like. I don't know what I don't think that he has to make the playoff. I think he needs to, but he won 8 games last year. I think you better at least win that many this year. I better at least win that many.
Yeah.
No.
But Hugh Freeze heads the class.
Hugh Freeze. Yeah, I think it's Hugh. And look, and I think he's probably in deep shit. I think that he signaled that he's in deep shit when they asked him on that show about where he feels like it has to happen. And he talks about bowl games. A bowl game, bro? Do you know where the fuck you are? You know what I mean? This is Auburn. No. Bowl games don't cut it. So that surprised me. But I'll tell you why it is, and I'm just going to say this, and we're going to move on to that other subject in just a second. Folks, Jackson Arnold is not the guy. He wasn't the guy, and he's got somebody nipping at his heels behind him, just like he had with Hawkins behind him last year. I'm telling you, this is not the dude that you need. If you were not happy about Peyton Thorne, and that's what I'm saying, Peyton Thorne was a bad move. Now he made a bad move by hitching your wagon to J.A. Star. I don't think now Deuce Knight may be the guy, but do you go to him quick enough? Because if Jackson is still broken, and whether he got broken at Oklahoma or whatever it is, if he's still broken, and it sounds to me like he doesn't like going downfield, you've got to be able to figure it out. And he doesn't do well with somebody nipping at his heels behind. If he feels pressure from the guy behind him, which we know was part of it last year, or pressure from the defensive front, I think it's troublesome for him. I don't think that Jackson Arnold is going to do great for him it right away. And it may not be enough to save his job, even if I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. That's just me on it. And Coach, I know you got something to say here about that. No?
I really don't.
That's just how I feel about.
Well, you already know what I'm going to say. I mean,
I know how you feel about what. Look, the Oklahoma fan base, as far as we talked about it before, that we said Dylan Gabriel needed to stay around an extra year. We got roasted for it a lot.
Yeah,
we got roasted for it.
Yeah, shit. The train's moved on for me on Oklahoma and their quarterbacks.
Yeah, true that. Oh man, Ross says this: Billy Napier is dead man walking. We'll see about it. I think he may be. I think you could be right. Mark Stoops is definitely dead man walking, and yeah, we keep hearing that too. I don't even really think about that because I just don't think of Kentucky that much. But just being real, I think he is too, and I think that the next guy up for that job is, from what we hear and Marcus keeps saying, it's going to be the guy at Tulane. John, he's a really good coach. I like him too. What's that coach's name, Coach? From Tulane? It's
Tulane.
John. Shit, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.
I don't remember his name. Summerall.
Yeah. Rush bothers him. He overcomes that. He'll be okay. Well, he's got to throw it. Unk. You're 2 years too late on that bullshit. Unc was one of the biggest villain haters there were.
Yeah.
I love it, Unc. You're the man. That's good shit. Summerall's a good coach, so yeah, no, I like him. Look,
Yeah.
as far as BV goes, I don't think that his seat is as hot as a lot of people are acting like it is. I just, because of the amount of money they owe him and his staff and the guys that they have in there, I think that there's other things that contributed to the 6 and 7 last year.
It would have to just be a friggin' debacle.
It would have to be really bad this year. I agree. Yeah. And here's the thing: everybody keeps asking about this deal with. Let's see. Circle back to the. Okay, so you were asking me earlier about FSU. Hold on, let me find that one. Shit. Here we go. The 5-star Houston quarterback commit shut down his recruitment and not taking his official visit to FSU. Does that make FSU push for Jaden O'Neal ever stronger than it already was? I think they've been pushing for Jaden O'Neal anyway. No matter what. I think no matter what, they've been pushing for Jaden O'Neal. And I don't know how much. I mean, if there was talk about there's a possibility you could get him, maybe they did want him. Well, I'm gonna tell you now, Jaden O'Neal, they want him back. Now, the question is right now, because to me, no, and somebody asked a minute ago if Jaden had decommitted from Oklahoma. He has not. He will still be on his visit on the 20th, or is it next week? Let me see. Let me make sure I got this right. The 20th, they'll be there. You've got Bo is at Oklahoma today, I believe. Yeah, he is. But he's going to be making a decision pretty quick too. The question that I have is this. I've already said that I don't know. Looking at the tea leaves, I'll just put it this way. I think that Jaden O'Neal's going to Florida State. That's just what I think. That's not what I'm hearing from his dad, and his dad can correct me in there right now if he wants to. I think he's going to Florida State. I think Florida State has shown that they want him there. I think that Oklahoma screwed that up. I said that last week. I think that they made a mistake. I think that he's the better quarterback out of them, but I think they screwed it up. And there's not too many ways that you can go about fixing that other than I think that there's got to be a lot of ass kissing to happen for Jaden to come to Oklahoma now. And so we'll find out when we find out what happens with Bo Bentley. Believe it, if Bo Bentley ends up going to LSU, there will be some ass kissing. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. That's just my feelings. I don't really have a whole lot else I can say about it. But I do, again, I'd like to see, I'm at the point now that I hope that I want Jaden O'Neal to do what they think is best for him. I like the kid. I like his dad. I think he's going to be very good at the next level, wherever he plays. And I wish that was going to be Oklahoma. But wherever it is, I hope he goes and kills it, because that's just the main thing, you know. And I think he's going to be real good. Now, Bo Bentley may come in and be really good too. I just think when you look at just what I look at and what I see, I don't think arm-wise it's not close. It's just not close. Whatever it's called, NIL. The ass kissing part. Yeah. Okay. One way to fix it, tell Bentley, thank you, but we want O'Neal. Tell Bentley to sign. But, well, that's not going to happen, though. That's one way to fix it, but that's not what they're going to do. If they were going to do that, they would have done that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jason, I was just curious, as we're talking about this, where is, and I haven't looked at the rankings lately, where's or Oklahoma, Arizona? Where is Oklahoma presently in kind of the rankings right now?
The recruiting rankings? I don't know. I actually hadn't looked at them much lately.
And who do you? I know there's different ones out there. Who do you kind of
well
on three or?
I usually watch. I don't really love the recruiting rankings at all. I don't have one that I believe in.
I don't either. I don't either.
I think I usually look at I will look at, say,
Because
247. Usually I'll look at 247.
Okay. Isn't it 247 that kind of?
It has the composite.
Yes. That's what I was looking for.
So OU in the composite is they're still way down the list, but they don't have a ton of recruits yet. They're at 43. They've got 7 commits. So, like, if you're looking at the ones that are up at the top, SC has 27 commits.
Right? Well, and that's kind of my point here is it's a long way being done from recruiting, but I just kind of wondered where they were falling in right now. Because there's the prime example right there. USC at number 1. Well, number 1, they're not going to keep all those guys. And OU, because what we've seen traditionally is all those teams that get all the recruits early, that have kids that committed early, they end up dropping drastically. And those that kind of sit and patient and they know what they're looking for, move
a lot of them are looking
quick
for those early commits just to kind of it's to get them out of that hot water. If we're talking about Lincoln Riley, because like I said, they're at number 1 right now. They've got 11 more commits than Notre Dame, who's at number 2. But what you really need to look at, if we're gonna believe in rankings anyway, right? If we're really believing in them,
I don't buy all that bullshit.
I'll just put it to you this way: your average recruit ranking is at 92.36. Their average recruit ranking is at 91 something, 91.57. Okay, they've got more commits, but you've got better commits.
Sure. Well, I was just curious.
3 stars. 10 of them are 3 stars. You guys have 1.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. You look at the teams that always recruit at the top. Ohio State. They're probably going to be number 1, one of the number ones.
Where are they right now?
They're at 93.09. LSU with 9 commits. Their average recruit ranking is 95.1.
Yeah.
It's not these teams that are up at the top right now. You got your Kansases. They're in the 80s. You know what I mean? Louisville in the 80s. Penn State 89. It's not the same thing. And so when you go to Oklahoma, let's go back to Oklahoma here. Oklahoma's has dropped a little bit as well, though. They've dropped to 89.22. Now, that's wild to me because, but I mean, it's still, again, they have 7 commits. There's 20 more commits the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But like I said, I would just look at it in terms of, I don't think about the recruiting classes till the end. And I know one thing is that if you're going to play the game money-wise, and I don't know that USC and some of those other ones are. I know that Oklahoma, from what I understand, they've got plenty of money to go out and they're going to – what I heard is Texas is going to have to spend every dollar that they're talking about in order to get some of the guys that they want because OU is going to be right there with them.
Yeah.
They've got some big recruits that are looking to come to OU. I mean, that they're trying to land right now. It's starting to look pretty good on a couple of their biggest targets defensively. It will hurt them if Jaden O'Neal doesn't end up coming. I think it's going to hurt them because I think they're going to lose a receiver at least one.
Sure.
But that being said, right now, if you look at it, Bo Bentley is ranked ahead of Jaden O'Neal. Not that I think that matters, but he is ranked ahead. But you're going to lose that receiver. I think you're going to lose that receiver no two ways around it. He's a California kid that never came to OU until he committed to OU because of Jaden O'Neal.
Right.
Appreciate it, Raw. Yeah. Would this be happening if there was no portal to cover up when you lose them both? I don't know. I don't know that this would be happening if the guy was a year older and had went through this before, or if Venables stepped in and said, "Nah, we ain't doing all that," which he should have done. It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And look, it's like I said, I'm just at this point, I'm resigned to whatever happens. I'm still got some level of hope out there for that on Jaden O'Neal. I'll be fine if they land one of them. Look, it is what it is. But if they don't, it is what it is too, man. You can't. This is big time football. You got to continue moving forward, and I think that definitely he will learn something from it. And when we're talking about Arbuckle, I think that he's never, not to. I always say that I hate to use this, but then I use it. But this is the first time that Ben Arbuckle's been able to shop in that aisle as a coach.
Damn, does he know Brian Kelly?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying he hasn't been shopping for the same level of talent.
No, I know.
Right?
I was just joking because of the same terminology.
Yeah, I know. I've said it before. I hate to use it because of Brian Kelly. But if you want to,
true, yeah.
What it means.
But that's true, yeah.
Yeah. And I get you want your own guy and all that other. I mean, I get all that part. The part that I didn't like and I don't like about it is that you could have very easily just said, you know what, we're going to go in another direction and cut Jaden loose instead of playing the little game of because if you lose them both, I think it's because you weren't committed enough to either.
To either one, yeah. That's hey, you know what? Looking at this 24/7, I pulled it up just now.
Yeah.
Damn Rutgers at number 8.
Yeah. Greg Schiano, brother. But again,
damn.
But see, this is how it always is early.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is how it always is early. But even where Texas Tech, they were talking big game and they were way up there, with what they brought in with the portal and all that, and they've got all this money. Yeah. But all of a sudden they've dropped way back.
Oh, they're way back. Well, you know what? And I'm sitting here, I see Notre Dame at number 2, but traditionally we've done this same thing, but traditionally we've done what USC does, and we get all these guys up front and then we lose them. And so I'm really watching this now with Notre Dame. I want to watch it closely to see if we can even stay in the top.
This is the time of year, though. But see, it looks good. It looks good to me because they don't. I mean, they've got 16, but that means they're still probably in the running for another 8 or 9 anyway. I would think.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right. So, and the guys that they're after that I've noticed as far as Notre Dame's concerned are studs, like the best in their class at whatever position. You've got a couple of those guys that are. And here's what I always say about these recruiting rankings. They don't mean shit right now because right now the best players other than quarterbacks haven't committed.
Yeah, you're right.
Some of them will wait until the season, but generally June and July are big months.
Yeah, they are big months. Well, that's like, I know this weekend we have I think next 3 weekends or at least 2, we've got the Irish invasion going on, and hopefully we'll pick up some people after that.
We have it's the Champ U barbecue on the 20th for Oklahoma too. Same thing.
This is the same
year, man. This is that time of year to do it. So it'll start really kind of working itself out where you'll get all the best players. Quarterbacks are usually earlier, right?
Absolutely. But you got to go get them early.
Yeah, because they're part of your recruiting, which is another part of the thing that I think that Oklahoma screwed up with this whole deal because Jaden was being a recruiter for them, right?
Right.
And you're fighting at the end to get Bo Bentley, and maybe he can bring on somebody later on if you do get him. But you would have had Jaden doing that this whole time instead of going and visiting Arizona and going and visiting Florida State. Yeah. He could have just been recruiting for you like he wanted to when he moved to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So It is what it is, man. But I think that in the end, you better go, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you better go out and have a hell of a season as a play caller for sure. But, that's just my opinion on it. This is my opinion. Guys, we've been going forever. And
well, I got to get out of here too.
I got to go too. So.
I got to go get stuff ready for my grandson's party.
Whoop. Hey, y'all, where y'all partying at?
We're going to the jump park.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right up here on it's the the trampoline park.
Yeah, the trampoline park. Yeah.
Hell yeah. What time y'all going? I'll go and check it out.
Yeah, come on and have some pizza with us. I think we're doing it starting at 6:30, I think.
Perfect.
So come on.
Well, love you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Love you too.
All right,
Thank you. How many wait, one last question. How many likes?
42, which is more than the people we have in here. We have 35 people in here. So 42.
Hey, there we go. Good job. Okay. Later, brother.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Coach Roy Ball. All right, man. I didn't even take any breaks in between any of this or nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off today. We should be back in here tomorrow. Go live jumping on the trampolines, talking football. I'll maybe take a video or two. We'll see about that. But live, I don't know. Man. No, I appreciate everybody coming in. And look, man, I'd love to be able to tell you that I'm hearing anything in particular. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't even ask the O'Neills what, to give me that answer. I think they're looking to see what they can do. Right? I think that the best situation for them is what they're trying to do. And right now I know that Florida State has made a push. They have made a push. And can't blame them if they end up taking that deal. They've shown that they're in it. So it is what it is, man. But I look forward to, and we're going to find out. Maybe it'll work out better than the tea leaves tell me, or my intuition. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's intuition that I'm getting. I don't know. All right. We'd be the first in history to do it. Zofix, that's awesome. You're in St. Louis for the Dodgers tonight, but you'll look me up tomorrow night. All right, man. That sounds good. Well, enjoy the game. Enjoy the game, man. I know you enjoy those St. Louis games. Go Cards. All right, brother. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming in. Make sure you check out the commercials on the way out. Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding Crimson and Cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too, all shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. Want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it, MyBookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football.